Welcome to 155, a podcast about green.
What kind of green is it about, Josiah?
I just wanted us all to think about that for a second. It's about, Green May. And I was thinking Green May, well, may green bless us all in our wallets. This Green May could be a kind of thing, like a prosperity.
I was thinking about the green belt. I was thinking May.
No one gives a fuck about that anymore. It's over. Burn it down.
We left that behind
Who
days
cares?
ago. Yeah, as of Green May, we are officially on the side of the Doug Ford government.
My favorite thing about this idea is like pretty much I just wanted to talk to Ever, who you still insist on calling a streaker. You call her a mere streaker, is I think what you said.
Yeah, I say mere. I absolutely put that
qualifier.
Yeah,
but I thought
I'm not even impressed by streaking. Yeah.
I thought it'd be so funny to have her on and then like spin it into this net positive where I learn all about the green belt. And then you ended up doing all the interviews because you're the one who knows about it, and I learned nothing. And even in our last week of April LaGreen, like when you were talking to Joey Coleman about the green belt, I just totally zoned out. Someone even said in Discord they could hear me typing. I was just like, you know what? I don't care about this at all. But I do care about Green May, and I don't really know why, because I also feel like, maybe we'll get into this a bit, I feel like we've said a lot about the band Green Day. But also getting ready for this one, I'm like, fuck, this band is so cool. Like, so much cooler than most things we talk about usually. So there must still be some juice left in here. Maybe we'll do some songs that actually suck. I don't think we've done enough songs that suck by them also. We've
been very kind to Green Day, and I think avoided, outside of like making fun of some of the advertising for Father of All Motherfuckers. and I think it's time for us to confront the last 20 years of new Green Day.
Maybe, but I mean,
is that how long they've been bad for? Actually, hold on, let's see. Like, when was the last?
Well, I think everyone's been bad since the apple from the Tree of Knowledge. Really, so.
Oh wow, that's good. That's good.
We also that's the other thing. We are. I think that literally, for some reason, the words episodes of Blink-155 where we're talking about edging one word at a time, that's like straight up just like talking about the gospel every week for some reason. Have you noticed that? It's like
it is. I think we're in a gospel heavy zone of words right now.
We are.
I think that might change when we get to like a Mark verse, because he's maybe less.
So if for some reason you're here for the first time, you're a big John Cullen stan, and that's why you're here, and you love Green Day, well, we're just a couple of old-ass white guys who love to say crazy shit. It's called a podcast, folks. And we have been talking about Blink-182's edging one word at a time. We're now well into our second month of doing so. And it's very stupid. It's like we took the idea of Gilmore Guys or whatever and made it as dumb as possible. And, of course, because of Horseshoe, on the other side of dumb, if you go deep enough, it becomes very smart and Christian again. So that's kind of what's happening behind the paywall. What were you going to say about Green Day? It is the
smartest thing we've ever done. It's the most original. It's been 20. So American Idiot was 2004. So it's been 19 years since there was good Green Day.
Yeah, and I don't even know if we can agree that American Idiot is good. Before we get into talking about Green Day too much, I did want to say, we are
talking about edging lyrics some more?
A little bit, but we're not going to do that. But we are going to talk about edging in person live in Toronto and Montreal, literally next week. Okay. So book your tickets, increase your credit limit. Let's go to town together, specifically two towns, cities in Canada.
Josiah is right, because if you increase your credit limit, that's actually good for your credit score.
That's what I've heard.
This is something.
I heard if you increase your credit limit, it's good for your credit score, but then you're supposed to keep paying it off, which is the part I keep forgetting about.
Listen, we didn't need to get into that, but the point is, if you can ask for more money, they're like, ooh, I like this.
Ooh, I like
what
this.
You do with
I
that
keep booking
ability
flights.
to access more money.
I just book every day. I book a flight somewhere for no reason, just because I can, and I'm quickly running out of the ability to do that. But yeah, do that. But before we get into it, I just really quick, we have been having some scheduling trauma as usual. I mean, this every once in a while, the scheduling trauma rears its head, and we, get the various.
We're gonna have to make a lot of modern horror movies about the surviving
schedule trauma. That would be good.
A24 in schedule trauma. Two white guys trying to podcast, being like, "Fuck, we gotta go. It's Sunday afternoon. We gotta fucking do it.
We gotta do it a bit early." So you decided to. Speaking of making room on your credit card, you're doing a last minute work trip next week. So we are podcasting at the very unlikely hour of 1 p.m. on Sunday, starting a full hour after we planned to start. So it's kind of scheduling trauma within scheduling trauma. It really is a nesting doll of agony.
Yeah.
Well, it's a rushing nesting doll, actually, because it's about scheduling. And we're going to just wait for that one to sink in. So I'm just curious.
It was good. It was pretty good.
For you, starting at this time of day, I mean, getting a coffee doing the pod, it reminds me of our Weepy Damn It episode. It reminds me of it's very not often that we do this. And also this was initially planned to be time to prepare for the live show. So now that's kind of future trauma that we're going to go through, being unprepared. I mean, we're both going to...
we talked about it for like 5 minutes. I feel pretty good about it.
We were going to plan our outfits, and now that we haven't, we're both going to accidentally go there in our underwear, just like a bad dream or something.
I'm totally unprepared.
But I'm curious, what's it like for you at this time of day to be podcasting compared to the usual?
I feel pretty good about it. Like I'm relaxed. Like sometimes, when we do the pod at we say we're going to start it at 7 and then it's like 9 o'clock and it's a Monday and you got kind of like cloudy Monday brain.
It's true. I feel
right
focused.
Now I feel unexpectedly alert, and I worry that is going to be to the detriment of the podcast.
Yeah, I agree. Well, that's
how I feel. I'm like I'm too sharp right now.
Well, I kind of feel that way too.
What if I rob Josiah of like his sort of mantle as like the clever one, and I'm actually really clever? I've just never had an opportunity.
Is it possible to be too sharp? Does that mean that you wish that you were a little bit more of a racist skinhead and not a?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
For me, what I just wanted to say
what I'm looking for.
Real quick is that, and obviously it is boring when other people talk about their dreams, but it's my show, and I think that talking about my dreams is perfectly allowed because I've already shared all the stuff from the front of my brain, so I can go into the back a little bit. But it's early enough in the day that I can remember that both Sarah and I actually had very funny, very pod-like dreams last night. So I was hoping real quick I could give you an update and you could interpret them for me, if that's okay with you.
What if I said no?
I mean, I was
like, let's just move on.
I would just probably edit that out and say it anyway. So you should...
I'll be like, hey man, I was already telling you how stressed out I am. Do we really have to do this? He's like, completely eradicate that from the pod.
I would just find
no, let's do it.
I would just find an easily clippable sick from an old episode and put that in there if you did that. So you're doomed. You've given me
manipulated quite easily.
You've given me all the power I need.
In all ways.
So Sarah's dream, it's not like we don't like Beyonce, but we're not like massive Beyonce fans. We're just like, we're human
You're not allowed to
beings.
say that, man.
We're
just like when you
beings.
said that you didn't like. Hold on, I don't know if you said this.
You can't remember.
You know what I'm going to talk about.
Was it dance? When I don't like dance?
No. Well, no, your dance take was like just you being goofy, but this was a real take that you had.
I can't remember if I said that or not.
Like
But I said it on behind the paywall. We're not like huge Beyonce fans, but that's why this is so much funnier because in Sarah's dream, I had gotten us cheap Beyonce tickets to the world tour, and we're like, you know what? Yeah, let's go. This will be fun. It's always fun to go to an arena show. They were cheap tickets, and it was like kind of shocking that I got them so cheap. So we got there, and it turned out that where the seats were, you could neither hear nor see the concert. The only way you could hear it is if you went into the bathroom and like went up against this one wall. So everyone in our section was in the bathroom listening through the wall to try to hear me.
That's fucking weird, man.
It's like so funny. It's such a perfect like sketch, I think. And apparently Rihanna was there too. We ran into Rihanna after, and she was very upset that we had paid for this. But that was hers. But then... So I thought that was pretty funny and like pretty poddish. There's this theme of Ticketmaster. I think some people actually thought that Ticketmaster was behind the tickets for the live show too, which is really funny to me. But And my dream, the reason I'm bringing this up is because I used to start these episodes with puns, and I've kind of moved away from that for something much more highbrow, whatever this is. But I actually had like a pod pun dream last night, and I can't believe it, actually. And
you had a pun dream?
I had a pod pun dream, and I actually cannot believe it.
Deranged.
So I think I was like writing a TV show, or I was in a TV show that was like The American Office. It was like kind of like a corny workplace drama. And this guy was preparing for a meeting, and he had printed out the agenda, and it was like in the office. And then I guess HR came in and was like, you're fine. You can't work here anymore. We can't have someone like you work here. It's like very shameful what you've done. And he's like, what are you talking about? So like, you know the word agenda, right? Like are you here still?
Sorry, I am here. I had to cough, and so I muted my mic.
I see.
No, I've been here being like,
this is a big setup. This is important. This is from the dream realm. So this guy he had printed out the agenda, and the boss came in and was like, we can't have people like you work here anymore. And he's like, what are you talking about? And then they're like, we saw what you printed. You must be like preying on children or something, or you must be some kind of pervert, because he had accidentally put a space in the middle, so it looked like it said age NDA. Like he was doing an NDA for age. That's my actual dream that I had last night. So
wow.
Do you think
your brain is a fascinating fascinating thing?
Could I turn that into it? Is that enough to write a show? Age NDA?
I think so. I mean, now, like, look at they're going to be needing a lot of scabs in the next little bit, and so this might be your time. For
if anyone,
I don't know that age NDA is getting greenlit in normal circumstances, but like I don't know in our topsy turvy.
I would I would love to scab. If Jimmy Fallon, if you need me to write a monologue for you and would like to do some lightly pedophilic, age-based NDA humor, I have one joke for you to use specifically.
All you need is one good joke, man. Most people only have one good joke.
I don't know if this one works very well, but that's from the dream realm to you. Let's get into punk news real quick.
What the fucking fuck?
I don't know if you have punk news or not.
I do.
That's great. While we were waiting to start this late episode, Sam was running late. And so I thought I was big dogging him by being like, I'm going to go get a coffee. But he interpreted that as me admitting defeat in the lateness. I was 10 minutes later than his 10 minutes late.
I was big dogging you.
Who big dogged who? That's kind of like the central agony of our pod. Is figuring out who's the tension that
drives the podcast. That's what caused this to last for 7 years. It's not really about who's the nice one and who's the mean one. It's ultimately about
who's the big dog. We keep asking questions like this, and no one will answer us. But I want seriously, listeners. We say let's actually start at 12:30. Sam shows up at around 12:39. At which point I say,
that was 12:35. That was like 12:35. No way.
It was well.
It's okay. I'm looking at it. It says 40 minutes ago because GChat is like this, and so it would have been 12:37. So
37. You were 7 minutes late, and I said I went to get a coffee.
And I said I was just watching the music video, so you knew that it would be another
So it was 10 minutes.
So I was making us 10 minutes late. Absolutely.
So because I had already left for a coffee at around. Maybe that's where the big dog lies. I only gave you 3 or 4 minutes before I left to go get a coffee, so that's why I think I'm the big dog. But you. Explain your interpretation of this big dog scenario. You think
you said 12:30, and I was the one who strolled in late.
But then to find out that I was so aloof, I didn't even care that you were late.
No,
and we're not even getting into the fact that when I said want to do 12:30, and you wrote yup like a little bitch, like you just wrote yup to me. You just wrote yup.
Did I yup you? I was working out. I was.
Oh my god!
I was pushing weight.
I think I'm the big dog.
Lucky you got a yup out of me and not just an emoji.
Now, last week you were obsessed with these hyphenates, as you Hollywood types are. Well, thanks for that emoji. You're obsessed with hyphenates last week. You might need to open this one, unless you pay for Condé Nast account. You might need to open this one incognito. But this is from the magazine Vanity Fair. Of course, we're still recording this in the dying light of April, but this is from the May issue of Vanity Fair, and it's written by Araminta Diop, which is a very sick name that I'm going to see editorial assistant for Vanity Fair. So I'm not sure about the punk chops. Could be some. Hard to say. Not very many followers. One mutual I have with this person. So that's, it's all happening here. Armita Diop writes, and this is also going to be a grammar question because I'm not sure, but this is the best plaid, tweed, and luxe punk looks for spring. So of course this is luxe as in the abbreviated luxury, LUXE hyphen punk. Do you think that this headline suggests that it's also plaid punk and tweed punk, or no? Because those would need. Is the hyphen between luxe and punk serving all of the previous adjectives, or is luxe punk its own hyphenate, but it's not plaid punk or tweed punk? Probably, right?
I think, unfortunately, it's not tweed punk and it's not plaid punk. Because if you were like, here's the best hardcore, metalcore and pop punk, like you wouldn't be, you know what I mean? I think luxe punk is the designation here. You could say like best plaid punk, tweed punk, and luxe punk. Like if you really wanted to I think
if plaid and tweed had hyphens, then it would probably work. So that's fair. You know what? That's fine because I still really like the idea of luxe punk. For those desperately seeking...
that's me. I identify as luxe punk.
For those desperately seeking fashion inspiration in a transitional season, there's Madge ever evolving. And so I guess they're naming luxe punk after Madonna in Desperately Seeking Susan. I think I see where it's going with this kind of. I can see sort of a lot of like pearl necklaces and dresses, but with like little punk flares. Strawberry Switchblade might be a reference that it works with the luxe punk look, is what I would imagine. Mm-hmm. But then we go through the thing. We have some Justine Clanquette clip-on earrings for $75 at Essence, who, by the way, doesn't have a sales section anymore, right when I need to buy some loafers for a wedding. So that's great. That's just fucking great. Louis Vuitton and Yayoi Kusama hat, $760 at Louis Vuitton. 2D Beauty Stretch to the Limits liquid liner in lime, a mere $14 at Credo Beauty. And finally, some NYDJ pants for $89. Sort of some leather bell bottoms. Oh, and also Trudon Mortel Noir Eau de Parfum for $290 at Trudon. Alexander McQueen shoes, $890 at Saks Fifth Avenue. David Yurman necklace, $1750 at David Yurman. Vivienne Westwood corset, $1790 at My Teresa. Chopova Lowina skirt, $1539 at Chopova Lowina. And I guess that's it. There's so many ads on here because I had to look on Incognito, but that's it. So I think I wasn't keeping a tally, but I think that's pretty expensive outfit. And real quick,
if you really wanted to buy all of it, yeah.
While I was talking, I was trying to see if there was like a luxe punk, like if there was more people using this term right now. And I did find this YouTube account that says, if you like luxury, an interesting fact about the most expensive, you come to the right place, ... So this is a video about Kylie Jenner's impressive car collection and the extravagant home of Harry Styles. So, I mean, it's going around.
Jay-Z's insane watch collection.
Luxe punk is happening, but I don't know if it's
Luxe punk is real.
It's real. So, I mean, would you rock any of these looks? Do you think you identify as Luxe punk? You think you're going to get some NYDJ pants or any of these?
Yeah, I think so. You know what? I couldn't get it to load even in Incognito. 12-foot ladder wasn't working. So, I based on your descriptions alone, like, what do you think? Like, you're looking at, I can't look at any of them. So what do you think? Is there anything there that I could rock?
I would love to see
I think I'm Luxe Punk in my soul.
I would love to see you wear this Vivienne Westwood corset, really. Or,
oh, yeah.
I mean, the David Yurman necklace is just a classic thick chain. That's pretty sick.
Okay, cool.
I don't know.
All right.
Yeah, I don't think you could pull it off. I don't think you're Luxe Punk, I'm sorry to say. Thanks for the other emoji, though.
That's fine.
What do you have for me?
Yeah, no problem. Well, I might not be Luxe Punk, but I am a gentleman. And so as a result, every quarter, I take a gander through, a little magazine that's just for me.
I think this is a very special punk news section where both articles come from Condé Nast, I think. So that's great. Thank you so much, Condé Nast, for all that you do.
Our favorite zine publisher. So this is from the wellness section of GQ. How hardcore punk musicians learn to love the gym.
Oh, this guy follows me on Twitter. This author, Luke Ottenhoff.
Yeah, I know this name, right?
He's from Toronto too. Let's see, writer with 8 toes. What the fuck? You're missing 2 toes, Luke? What's that all about?
Damn.
Guardian, Pitchfork, Billboard, Popular Mechanics, CBC, TVO, Globe and Mail, CJR, etc. Does that CJR mean Carly? Oh no, I was thinking that was Carly Rae Jepsen, but that would be Carly J. Repson if it was CJR. So I don't know what that is. But.
Oh, right. It's probably a radio station. We have a boatload of mutuals. It's absolutely a name that I recognize, but we do not follow each other. So maybe there's beef there. I don't know.
He follows me, but I've never followed back. I don't know. So no offense, Luke.
Wow.
I'm sure you're great,
Power
but
play.
music writers don't get the follow back anymore. Or even just actually most journalists I have regretted following back. So, I'm not following you back because I don't want to have to unfollow you one day and put you through that. I haven't read any of your tweets. I'm sure you're a great guy, and I would love to know more about the toe situation. So that's
yeah. I mean, look, there's a curiosity gap that he's created there that I'm interested in. So he writes, Brendan Yates and Daniel Fang of the hardcore band Turnstile had crossed paths at shows growing up in Maryland's hardcore scene, but it wasn't until their first year of college in 2009 that they became good friends. Drinking was the default activity at Towson University, just north of Baltimore, but neither of them were partiers, so outside of listening to hardcore records, they found another hobby, lifting weights. A mutual friend showed them the basics, and soon their time was divided between going to hardcore shows around Baltimore and working out. That whole era of our lives was formative because we were just changing every day. In the actual physical transformation of exploring lifting weights and the progress of becoming a different person physically, and then consuming so much music and meeting so many people in Baltimore, Fang tells me, we were just living for lifting weights and being as creative as possible. So it goes. I mean, this is a pretty beefy. This isn't like how to get Henry Rollins' body. This is like a long and thoughtful read about working out.
I would be curious.
Why now? Like, do you identify like as a daily why user?
I do the same workout as like a dying 90-year-old man. Is basically what I do.
Right.
I don't do. I'm on survival mode. I'm not on getting ripped mode. I'm just trying to prolong my life a little bit longer just in case something funny happens on the pod. That's pretty much it. I'm definitely I don't weights is too confusing. I don't really understand it. So no, but it sounds like you are a a macho jock who would kick Sam
I'm
in the face.
I identify. I'm the same. I'm I'm real jockey. So I definitely identify. People obviously, if you see photos of me on the internet, I'm huge. I'm yoked. These are all the ways that people
maybe a lucky
would
fan.
me.
You'll pick them up at our live show. You can pick them up.
That's right. Yeah, I'm going to do some fireman's carries at the show. I'm going to throw someone. It's going to be sick. It's something to look forward to. A reason to make the trip. So look, maybe there's nothing more. Look, you can be strong and listen to punk music. I think is kind of the.
I think I saw. I'm trying to find the backlash now. I think I saw some. I think often. And here's where I'm hovering over the follow back button for Luke. Maybe I'm just gonna do it because you know what, Luke, you're probably gonna find out about this. Nice. You're gonna hear about this. You're gonna hear we were talking about your missing toes and all that stuff, and that's great. But I think what happened with Luke here, and I didn't see it, but I think what happened to me as well when I worked for an Alt Weekly is you try to write about hardcore punk guys. And then everyone's immediately mad at you about it for just saying anything about it. I remember one time I got our friend Mark Tio to write about new straight edge bands for, I think, fast forward, or maybe it was even for Aux, but one of the bands was only 3/5 straight edge or something. So all these people were just freaking out, yelling at him and saying all this shit. So awesome. I can't find the backlash, but poor Luke here says this little piece.
I know. Hold on, I want to see.
This little piece about why
if I can find some other tweets about it.
About why some hardcore guys love working out seems to have driven some very online people to all but wish death upon me. So bump for a fun weekend read. So I can imagine, yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where it's even the original the article's illustration I just noticed says no carbs in punk writing. I think it's fun. Yeah. I think it's not meant to be taken super seriously, but I'm sure
people do actually seem
dumbest alt center the hardcore kid probably just said something absolutely stupid about it. So I don't know.
Yeah, let's see. We've got in response to the GQ tweet about it, we've got Jeff Wise who uses the handle Ogre Body. They're in good shape, but they probably both weigh 160. I would never in a million years describe them as being quote incredibly jacked. Ha ha. So maybe it offended
Right.
And then someone says Rollins is defo above 180, and then the article was talking about Brendan and Defang. So
a lot of people did say that this is fake and gay as well, which I'm not really sure what about it is fake. It does seem quite gay, honestly, and that's great. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But it does, that makes sense. But GQ trying to boost their
some of the
street
hidden
cred,
replies.
dumping turnstile.
Dumbest fucking article ever written. Shut the fuck up, for the love of God. You don't know shit about what you're talking about. Now, is that about hardcore or working out? Like, which of these things do you think people are mad
People
about?
are very upset because the extremely high production value, expensive, practically major label music that they like, they think just became mainstream in the last, since Coachella, since Knocked Loose at Coachella. They're trying to gatekeep like a gate that is on the ground off the hinges and has been for arguably 10 years, and they're still like, So I don't know. It's very interesting. Hardcore seems to have its hardcore having its breakthrough moment is like the new vinyls are coming back, and that someone talks about it like every single day as if it didn't happen a billion years ago. So,
Okay.
respect to
Sorry,
Luke.
it does seem like people are really mad. We need to stop the myth that Henry Rollins was, quote, jacked. He was ripped, perhaps, but was he yoked? No way. So this is like strength gatekeeping that's happening here. But you're right. There are people being like, "Why I don't want hardcore to be a mainstream genre?" Like,
and of course, and then every
deeply
time
embarrassing.
hardcore mainstream discourse happens, someone like this fella Jeff says, "Not a single mention of the Armed SMH." And I just want to go ahead and say on the pod, on the record, shut the fuck up about the Armed, everyone. No one gives a fuck about that shitty band. Just shut up. Don't talk about the Armed ever. Do not. In fact, I'm blocking this guy right now. I don't want to see anyone talk about the Armed. And I know that I have a lot of mutuals that do that too, but just get out of here with this shit.
Do people still talk about the Armed? Aren't we talking about MS Paint now?
I think it's the same genre of like bands to talk about. Like, give it a rest. Enough already. No more of this shit.
Guy who has only seen Henry Rollins shirtless, seeing other shirtless men, getting a lot of Henry Rollins vibes from this. So people are,
You know what? But Luke was just
mad.
trying to get his $100 from Condé Nast. I'm like, let's just give him a rest. Give the
If
guy
you
a
look at
rest.
Henry Rollins when he was in Black Flag, he was far from extremely jacked. Lean, yes. Jacked, no.
He probably like interviewed them, and then they were like, oh yeah, we actually love working out. And he's like, I could probably spin this into something. Instead of running this for fucking Exclaim or whatever, I could sell this to Condé Nast and get $100, and now all these guys want to bench press him. So I don't know whose side. So wait, whose side are you on here, Sam? Are you on Luke's side or are you on the?
I'm on Luke's side. I'm a Luke head in this.
Okay, great.
I'm certainly not on the side of people like describing what they consider to be the differentiated tiers of like what is jacked, but what is yoked, and what is ripped. And how that corresponds to your like BMI or whatever.
Well, I know what one thing is this was punk news.
What the fucking fuck?
It's a pretty good transition, I think. And now let's talk about the inaugural episode of Green May. I think round 3. I think we've been doing Green May. I mean, this one is a staple. It's every year.
This is it. This really defines the new pod. Although I guess
no, it really doesn't. In fact, this is
word by word.
I think that talking about edging word by word, and I also think like talking about some poor freelancer's Twitter account in great depth defines the. It's kind of like nice doxing is mostly what the pod is. But
yeah,
I actually think that in a way maybe Green May does not define the pod, and what makes it something we can revisit once a year, but we could never do 2 months in a row, is that I don't think there's very much tension with Green Day. I think they're just like pretty awesome old guys who've had their own ups and downs, but even when they suck, it's just like everyone forgives them because it's Green Day. They've earned it. They're just like so cool, and they write like pretty much, obviously, like you said, they've sucked for a long time, according to some. I think there's some okay stuff on Revolution Radio or whatever, but they're just like a band that writes like sick little pop punk ditties, and you can't really do much with that. And we will. I mean, we're going to do that for a month. Who knows if it'll be good? But there's just, as I was watching the video for the song Redundant, they look so cool. And they look so timelessly incredible. So there's nothing embarrassing about it. It's like a perfect Beatles-esque pop song with like just enough punk kind of sneer to it. It's so opposite of like I've been assembling so much shit for the live shows, video wise, so I've been way immersed in Blink-182 again. And the highs and lows of Blink-182, like Green Day is more of a plateau. I think they're just really cool, and they're just aging. I don't know.
Yeah, it must really drive Green Day crazy to sort of be compared to or sort of seen as a peer of this band that is like so fucking different. Like this is like, especially on a song like this, it's so obvious how like just like incredibly smart their songwriting is, and that it still sounds like a Green Day song, even though this is like a real, like, one of the things that was exciting about Nimrod was these kind of diversions and them sort of not trying to just do like the full speed like Dookie shit all the time. And like they just look so fucking cool in this video. Like the colors in the video, everything about it is like of that era, like so intrinsically, but then also, like you said, timeless. Like people could dress how Green Day dressed in that video now, and they'd be the coolest looking people in any room.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, there is something in this video with the set where it's it feels Gen X in the sense that it's like playing with some Leave It to Beaver kind of aesthetics in the background.
Yeah.
But there's just something about it that like it doesn't feel. So apparently, this music video is a homage to Zbigniew Rybczynski's short film Tango. So this music video is a homage to a Polish short film from 1981. I mean, already Green Day is like on a whole other level, but it doesn't even feel pretentious. It just feels lived in, like it just. Oh, and that is Dita Von Teese in there as well in the video.
Right on.
Betty Page type play. So I guess since we're talking about the video, it's like they're performing in front of a background where it's in a house that kind of has like a Pee Wee Herman or like when they made the real life Simpsons house. Did you ever see that? I was obsessed with that when I was a kid. It was like they gave it away in a contest in Vegas.
Oh my God, this is fucking awesome.
And the whole house was exactly the same, but then I guess legally the neighborhood council didn't allow them to leave it Simpsons colors, so they had to like paint it normal later on. But
that's really funny.
But the video kind of looks like the initial real life Simpsons house and or like a Pee Wee Herman style thing. It's very like 90s doing the 50s vibes, which maybe that's coming back. Maybe that's why it looks cooler than ever now, but and then people just do repeating things in the background, which like I'm sure is just like some easy camera trick that you could do to have the same thing repeating over and over again in the background as more people are added. But I still thought it was kind of impressive for some reason. Maybe I'm just stupid.
No, it looks good. It does look good because it's like it's a simple enough effect, but it's like because it's not too dated. It just looks kind of 90s, but it's not like. They're using some like really embarrassing CGI that just looked like shit, like 2 days later or something.
Yeah,
I mean, it's so funny that you're right though, because you're like, what is the tension here? The tension is just like it's sick, it's slow. I mean, evidently it was not successful as a single, which is not especially shocking because in 1997, like what else is happening around this? It's like Blink. Like it's like this is not like a pop punk song for kids in grade 7 to listen to.
Yeah, it's like definitely like smart old guy record collector putting on the Nuggets comp for your friends' music more than. But I guess maybe the one thing about the song is, and I don't know Green Day back to front like I don't know Blink back to front. I know Blink like inside out and backwards or something. But I think that perhaps this was an introduction to the sound that was to come. Like Redundant does.
I think so.
It does feel like it's
what's coming on Warning kind of thing.
Yeah, it does feel like it's the first taste of that, which is not even really. I mean, ultimately, it's just a really cool song. And I used to hate like chorus pedals, but as I've gotten older, it's songs like this where I'm like, okay, I actually see why it's so sick because I really don't like Nirvana at all, and I don't like Come As You Are, and I always associated chorus pedals with that. But then used here in a more traditional, like Beatles-esque way, I think it sounds really sick. So That's
you're right. But it's like this is definitely like, hey, here's where the band is kind of headed. And also, I gather, like, because I'm also on the Wikipedia or whatever, this is one of the few Green Day songs in which he uses an effects pedal. So, like, what a rare treat for us, you know?
Yeah, and I think so. The song seems to be about like how much he loves his wife, which is so adorable in general. Someone who loves their wife, does it get any better than that? Other than
No.
being a wife guy is awesome, and then seeing other wife guys, you're like, hell yeah. I'm so glad that you love your wife. Me too.
Yeah,
I love
totally.
mine. But
It's so sick.
But so the song is just like, we're living in repetition, content in the same old shtick again. I just wanted to call out that I love the word shtick, and using it in a song like this is so good because it's, again, kind of a classy Green Day song, but then with the word shtick, oh, so good. But yeah, I don't know.
Shtick is what an amazing word to work in there.
I think when we were trying to figure out what good Green Day song to do, we agreed on redundant. I assumed that we were going to like do some kind of meta thing about how the pod is redundant, but maybe that in and of itself is too redundant. Now I'm thinking
Interesting. I mean, look,
my dream was about someone getting
I'm nauseous. Does it make you sick now?
My dream was about somebody getting fired from a place like The Office where they're made redundant as well. That's interesting to think about.
Interesting. And look, there's been a lot of you and I love, particularly in the G chat, talking about media layoffs. So there have been in an industry that like we both used to work in. There have been huge numbers of redundancies. At Spotify, at Amazon, at Vice. Mm-hmm. So this is also redundancies are really in the zeitgeist right now.
That's true. And yet people who are grinding, freelancing, like our boy Luke, old Eight Toes, getting their asses kicked. So you can't win out there. Whether you're pitching great content to Condé Nast or you have a salaried position, who knows what's going to happen. So that in and of itself. I mean, what do you think of the word redundant? I think that's such a Green Day word, redundant.
I think Green Day taught me what the word redundant was. Like, I don't think I knew what it was. I think I had to, I guess, look it up in a dictionary. It was 1997. Like, I know I had the internet, but not in any sort of, like, particularly easy way.
That's, yeah, wow.
Like, I
this one we're
redundant 12. Does feel like a Green Day word. Yeah,
it feels like
Green Day
it's
word.
like it's like and Green Day owns words like this where it's like it just this syllabically it feels like a Green Day word. The dund in the middle, almost like dunce in the middle a little bit.
Mm-hmm. That's it, because it feels like a dumb word, but it's like not a dumb.
It's like a smart dumb word that they've just nailed. Like it's just it doesn't feel like what I'm trying to say is often Mark Hoppus will use big words in verse 2 of a song. Like when he's on that Avril Lavigne song or just on newer Blink songs, he'll use a big word where it sounds like he just looked it up in the dictionary. But like when I hear this, I think Billy Joe Armstrong says the word redundant all the time, and I love that.
Oh, for sure.
So
I think Blink is always chasing commiserating. Like that's what it is, and I feel like. Even just looking at the Genius page and the single art, like redundant in that Nimrod era Green Day font looks so fucking good. Like Nimrod, obviously, also like just a spectacular fucking word. And Nimrod and redundant together, oh boy, that's
it's so
stuff.
Literary. It's so. This is such. Green Day is such a Mark Twain ass band, for better or for worse. That explains why they did the Bill Maher soundtrack since last Green May. They definitely think Mark Twain should have been allowed to say all the words that he said, but
that's it. But it's part of being an artist.
It's part of being a Gen X artist. But yeah, I think Green Day really owns the word redundant, and this song is just so good. So I think, at the risk of being, or to prevent ourselves from being redundant, we should just maybe stop talking about it and watch a couple live videos. That
would be so sick. I would really, really love to watch some live videos.
So there's a couple. There's a bunch, but I've just got kind of the best one. So this is actually I don't have a normal. Here's the thing. I didn't write down the normal ones of them playing it because, and this is an issue with the covers too. Like everyone's just, it's too. The thing about this song is that it's like clever and it sounds unique and fresh while also sounding classic. But like most Green Day songs, it's very easy to play. So they like nail it live. And the cover, so many of the coverers, I mean, don't worry, I still got a pile. But so many coverers just like do a serviceable to good job of it that it's kind of like there's just no tension. Like we're trying to find problems with something that has no problems. And that's just interesting in and of itself. So I have some unique ones, but not them doing full band. So this is them live on MTV doing it acoustically, and I love it.
1, 2, 3, 4.
That particular like electric acoustic tone, you don't hear that anymore.
Yeah.
They invent a better pickup. Like, when was the last time you heard an acoustic guitar that sounded like that?
You're totally right. It's like just like the cheap acoustic pickup. That's probably not. Maybe they put them deeper in the body of the guitar now or something.
Yeah. It's like
it sounds punk. It doesn't sound nice. It sounds
No, it's so good.
I also love that. Yeah, they're not really doing it. They're not doing like an acoustic version of the song. They're doing like just bashing on power chords.
Does Mike Turner not sing harmonies in this? Is he just like singing
yeah, I think he just sings along.
It's so good. What a beautifully simple song. Billy Joe Armstrong probably is the best songwriter of like his generation. Is that an insane thing to say? Like the idea that you could write this and having a blast.
It's hard to. Yeah, I think he's. I think
those are the two best Green Day songs in my mind. You know what I mean? Like,
I think he's up there. I think that arguably Well, I don't want to just make all these conversations about Weezer, but I do think Rivers is up there too. But Rivers doesn't put himself into his songs, and that's what Billy does so well. It's like he's really cool, but he's also
about his wife.
He's being vulnerable. Yeah. So yeah,
I think it's just the idea of this person who is taking. Like, and this is where I think Green Day loses me, is where, when you get into that 21st century breakdown era and beyond, where he's aware of the fact that he is, like, a good enough songwriter and his interests go so far beyond, like, fucking pop punk, right?
Yeah.
That you start being like, oh, I want to write these grandiose rock songs because you're capable of it, right? But what was so interesting about the band, like, especially in this era, and I think you and I have talked about Nimrod as, like, this being the record for us because we're 12 when it comes out. Like, even more so than Dookie, which is, like, it's Dookie more so than Insomniac. Like, this is, like, our entry point, right? And so that's the right time to hear this band. But this guy who was, like, doing such timeless songwriting, but in the context of music that it, like, can sound so fucking stupid and simple and is built for 12-year-olds instead of being for, like, 30-year-old just, like, losers is so sick.
It feels almost accidental or like what's the word I'm looking for? Like, it's just inherent to him to be doing it like this.
Totally.
It's instinct, instinctually writing classic pop songs hidden as. But this song has like such a stupid guitar solo that's so funny and so like that thing you do, but they don't even play it. They just they just switch to open chords and have nothing. I love it so much.
This sounds so much acoustic. It sounds like that Nerve song. Someday you'll be. I actually want to listen to that right now. Fuck, what's that fucking song called? Someday. Okay, I gotta find this because it's so good. Fuck me. they just fucking vibrate through it, eh?
It's just. Can you find it? You got it?
Hold on. It's give me a minute here.
Now I cannot speak. I've lost my voice.
It's so funny because on the
here it is.
When they're doing on the studio recording, the chords that are descending that scale are I can't remember. I don't know enough about theory to explain it properly, but the chords are like modifying themselves to fit with the descending thing. But when you do it as power chords, it sounds so much shittier and more childish. It's so funny.
Yeah. So this is the song that it just reminds me of acoustic. This is Many Roads to Follow. That's the name of the fucking song.
Someday you'll be calling out my name. You won't get it.
so funny that we've been talking about Green Day for 20 minutes and we're already listening to such better things than usual.
We transitioned so hard into, we're capable of listening to good music.
I don't like it. It makes me feel exposed. It makes me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, well, that's fair. We don't have to keep listening to it. But
Well,
I mean, it's interesting that, like, and we do know that, like, I mean, obviously, like, the influence of, like, things like the beat and the nerves is, like, so huge. Like, I mean, the American Idiot musical has, like, a beat song in it, right?
Right, yeah.
So it's probably not an answer. Like, I think that's it. Is like, whereas Blink are really mostly influenced by, like, just the Descendants. I feel like Green Day are, like, influenced by all these, like, I mean, obviously he talks a lot about the Beatles, but these, like, classic power pop
I feel like
bands.
Green Day's probably not.
If Paul Collins is your songwriting North Star, you're just going to write better fucking songs.
Do you think has Billy Joe ever even acknowledged the Descendants? I feel like they don't even care about the Descendants, and maybe
There's no way
that's why they're cool. That's why they're cool.
That is that the difference? Yeah, hold on, let's see.
I don't know if he was in the. I don't know. I'm trying to see the next video I have. While you're looking for that, this is. I don't know when it's from. This was uploaded in 2012. This is them playing She, and then Mike's nose gets broken during She. So he has to leave the stage, and then Billy sings redundant by himself because literally he gets his nose broken. We can just listen to She for a second.
All the Descendants references to Green Day are in articles about, like, pop punk, where people are like, yeah, the Descendants, then we got Blink-182, and then we got Green Day.
That's really funny.
I'm not seeing, like, I mean,
Fuck.
greatest songs ever written.
Okay, I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit.
Oh yeah,
Let's see. I gotta see. I don't know if you can see
this
where it
video is
happens,
so
but you can see his nose like just drenched in
like
blood.
really.
There you go, see?
Oh my god, yeah. It's pouring blood.
What's that? Oh, what just happened?
Ceilings are a little too hot.
Someone. He doesn't even know what he says.
Here, put this on it.
He's like covered in blood.
Here, drink Bud. Wait a minute. Now, did you get a bloody nose because one of you guys are punk rock? Or because you're punk rock because the cameras are on? It's a question. Just a question.
It's trying to be. I guess he does lean into a little bit too much of
What just
the
happened? Are you okay?
sarcastic Gen X guy.
I'm sorry, I think I broke my nose.
God, he looks like he's in a tremendous amount of
Me
pain.
in the nose.
Should I do this next song acoustic? Okay, but you have to slam dance extra hard. Hey, whatever happened to the term slam dance? I actually miss it.
He sounds like such a nerd.
Gosh, dude.
I love how he said, "Should I do it acoustic?"
Those are great.
And then he just turned
Yeah.
his guitar down a little bit.
We're living in repetition, containing the same old stick again. Now they're in
Nice feedback.
Song actually kind of does sound a lot like Many Roads to Follow, doesn't it?
Yeah, it kind of does. I also feel like if this happened at a Blink show, they would just cancel the show. Like, I actually like watching those Coachella sets. We're gonna talk about them live at our live shows, but the Coachella sets, like,
do we think that?
go ahead.
Do we think that tour is going to happen? Like, do we think that tour is going to happen?
Oh, yeah, it's
Like,
gonna happen.
Travis tweeting about his finger again? I don't know.
I just think, like, if anything slightly out of the ordinary happened, they would all be completely lost on stage. Even just hearing the tempo of this version is, like, kind of shifting a little bit. Like, it's just... It feels more, unfortunately, real to use a very Gen X word.
They're a real band. Billy Joe Armstrong's a real guy.
So that's the live videos. I guess real quick before we take a little break to powder our noses and wet our beaks, and what could be a third one in order to make it feel satisfying. Powder your nose, wet your beak, and dip our wicks. Let's real quick check out this. There's some parodies of it, audio, but there is a parody written, and thank goodness that the song really does lend itself to another 3-syllable RE word. And this is not it, despite being uploaded in the height of the RE word. This is called Repugnant. This is uploaded by Matthias. It's from the website Am I Right, where we found, of course, our new favorite Nightwish indebted band, The Last Aurora, last month. I just love the idea of reading this. Why don't you?
So sick.
I think you should read this one. So this is Repugnant by Matthias, as read by Sam Sutherland.
You're smelling worse than a mortician. Bad 'cause they hang out with the dead. Wear some cologne to block emissions. Put some body spray to cover stench of dumpsters. Like a skunk you stink, nostrils destroyed, your BO is repugnant. Yuck, I'll give a few bucks to buy some soap. Wow, this is really good. Worse than a jockstrap after the playoffs, heard friends gripe and bought some myrrh.
What?
They've turned purple holding their breaths. Petunias you planted have wilted and tilted, you killed it. Yeah, they are dead.
Why would you use the word myrrh in there? It's not even rhyming with anything else.
Yeah. Oh my God, you reek, but not by choice. Your sweat glands are so broken. Gross, I sprayed you with a hose to wash the dirt. Pigpen plays guitar during the solo. Your lack of hygienes made me annoyed. That bad breath is repugnant. Sick, I'll beat you with a stick unless you bathe. No showers for weeks, filth you enjoy. You're vulgar, crude, and flagrant. Puke like roaches through a nuke. Your smell will live.
That's beautiful. So good.
Wow,
Thank you.
that's pretty good. Some comments here. What are people saying? Out of pure curiosity, what inspired this particular song to be parodied? Great title, sub, and well executed. I don't think this is in any projects you're doing, but I always love a Green Day being a parody target. Oh, there we go. Something smells here. No, wait, that's me. Your parody's flawless. I just need to get some more deodorant.
555 for you. What does that mean? Someone else said 555 in a gas mask.
Because you vote on pacing, how funny, and overall rating.
Oh, right. Okay.
This has.
Someone did give 3 ones, so that's.
Yeah, that's tough.
I wonder, they didn't comment.
The way that the scale works, by the way, is you vote matches pace of original song, and then you either say 1 for little or 5 for lots, which I just like. It's not 1 through 5; it's little and lots. That's the scale here.
Are you going to vote? I'm going to vote right now. I think.
Yeah, okay.
I think we need to be a little bit more honest here. Original song 5.
Put the work in.
I'm going to do 4 for overall score, just to be honest. There, confirmed.
Wow. So originally, this had a 4.3 across the board on pacing, how funny, and then overall rating. And now, thanks to our votes, it is 4.5, 4.5, and a 4.4, I guess. So
yeah, that's me. I gotta be honest. I don't think we're helping Matthias if we're just giving him full marks just because we're bored. But I just love the idea that honestly, pre-American Idiot, maybe. I don't remember the years of who was doing what, but I guess
had it open at some point.
Well, this is from 2009 anyways. I guess I'm just saying it's funny to think that of someone writing a parody of a song that's not about Donald Trump, and instead is just about not even a specific person, just the concept of being stinky. I love that.
It's pretty good. A simpler time, 2009.
I just, whenever I pee and then come back, I feel like we need to promote something after. I just feel like in order to earn, I think I treat my bodily functions, they're so shameful that I need to do penance. And of course, the only penance is some kind of self-promotion. So what could we do to make me feel less guilty
looking
for
looking at your dick just fills you with shame. Eh? This is like this is. I feel like that's Christian. That's some Christian shit.
So how could we make it even? Well, I guess patreon.com/155pod. You could go there and
That's right.
and donate away the shame, or you could also
Fly to Toronto,
Fly
or
to
Montreal,
Toronto.
and. But I guess we don't make money. Like, so just so it's clear, these shows are all free.
it's not
Like, do you think maybe we get a cut of bar sales in Toronto or something?
Do you
Like,
think
how does
so?
that work?
If you're coming to
Are you
either of
just
the shows
volunteering?
and you just feel like handing each of us a crisp
We're gonna
$50 bill,
We should pass a hat. Like, you know how uncomfortable that is when you're like, oh, fuck, what the fuck?
embarrassing.
Or
like
I don't have money on me very often.
it's more DIY to have like an ice cream pail that has been washed out like 10 times over the course of 25 years. It's like a 25-year-old ice cream pail. We should pass that around and hopefully some more.
Absolutely.
No, I think we've just
We don't have merch. Like, we have nothing to sell at these shows except for ourselves.
and that's free. So I don't know.
I know.
But I was curious. Do you think it's
Are we
more?
doing a secondary event in Montreal, by the way? Like,
That's
are we
up to
gonna talk
you.
about that on
You
pod
have to
or
tell
something?
me. I
don't know. I feel
have you
like
passed
I
it with
can't
the?
imagine-
Have you already broken?
Well, she thinks it's incredibly stupid, but she's like, "It's your trip."
Will she
Yeah,
come?
I'm
Will she
hanging.
come? Are we getting
She
four?
said she's a maybe only because the new Zelda game comes out. She's like, I could just stay in.
Oh my
hotel
God,
and,
no.
play Nintendo.
No.
I know. No, she'll come. She'll come. She's playing hard to get. But
Sam-
she'll come. Maybe we should. Can we acknowledge what we're talking about here?
Speaking of appreciating our wives so much and how much they put up with us, Sam canceled his really nice dinner reservation because.
Well, I haven't canceled it yet. I have not
Oh,
canceled
so
it.
you're still playing both sides. So we need to talk about this.
I'm
We
playing
need to
both
make this
sides.
real. Well, that's what I was going to
I
ask.
think I
you.
had to give them my credit card actually, so I should.
Oh, you better cancel soon. Yeah, there's the
yeah.
resi tax if you're not careful. I was going to ask you if you think that it's more kind of special to go to only the Toronto show or only the Montreal show. We know at least one person who listens is going to both. I think if you're not going to both, I'll be happy to see you, but I'm going to be thinking less of you if I don't see you at the second show. But I think
Yeah, absolutely. The shows are already free, so all it costs you is
like $600
travel
or whatever.
between
Yeah.
two cities, accommodation. In one or both cities.
it's only cost us probably 2 full months of Patreon to do these free shows.
Yeah, exactly. It's totally worth it.
What I was going to say was if you are in Montreal, there is kind of, to complete the full gauntlet, there's kind of a bonus. I don't know if it's a bonus episode, but it's a bonus something because I made Sam cancel he's going to cancel his dinner reservations, much to Ashley's chagrin.
Like basically like the second, Joe Beef is really like the granddaddy of Montreal's sort of like hip fine dining scene. Pied de Conchon, I mean
that's like
which I don't think
such,
I'm
this
pronouncing
is
right.
like this is such like
I know 10 years ago, but I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I live in
this is
Toronto,
so,
man.
like,
we only
is
got nice
so,
restaurants like in the pandemic.
Do you ever ask? Are you like the kind of guy who's like, "Oh, have you seen Ugly Delicious before?" Like this is how you're talking
Okay,
right now.
Shut the fuck up. I just think it's important so for listeners who don't live in Toronto or Montreal, like obviously you're getting a sense of Josiah's vibe with these things, but like these are still the best restaurants they're not the best.
Well,
you know what I'm
okay,
saying.
it's just enough. Well,
The
regardless,
most storied.
you're not going because we're gonna go on Saturday night, and everyone's
Yeah.
invited at Courtier
can't.
at
It's so stupid.
Cineplex Courtier du Latin. They're playing MGK's live concert film is being live broadcast.
It's a massive event. They're
it's all
broadcasting
over the
it
world.
live to all these
It's all
theaters
over the world.
on the same day.
MGK
And it's like,
live
do I
in-
want to go
live
to
in
Montreal?
Cleveland. Yes, you do.
I haven't been to Montreal since we did the last pod live.
We
so
can
like
we can
pre-pandemic.
share popcorn. I know that you don't even eat that much popcorn when you're sharing. So we can share some popcorn. It's going to be so great because it starts at 6:30. We're both going to be really hungry. Also,
That's true. Yeah, it's right in the day. It's right when I would be enjoying like a
I'm also
some
assuming
sort of
that it's not
fancy
sold
chicken.
out yet. Hopefully it's
God.
not. Then I'm going to have to edit
Is
this
it
out.
playing in multiple theaters
It
in
is.
Montreal?
It
Like, Are we
is.
going to end up having to go to like Laval to?
Well,
to
we
see
could
it?
do that. No, we should go to the Courtier du Latin because it's the earliest one. I mean, that is only 2D, unfortunately, but I think that's probably okay.
Are
But
the other ones in 3D?
are you a senior? No, right? General admission.
Not yet. Soon.
Adult.
Vibe wise, yes, but yeah.
Oh
checking-
yeah,
you're
there's
checking the tickets
only
right now?
there's only 2 tickets sold so far. in the theater. So let's sell this thing out,
okay.
folks. Let's everyone buy a ticket.
Yeah. So even if you can't make the shows, just come to Montreal for the Machine Gun Kelly movie that I will be going to. It's going to be sitting in a dark room instead of enjoying the only good city in Canada, Montreal. So.
All right.
So fucking stupid, man.
Oh, my ugly delicious burn was so good. That was great.
It was pretty funny. I get it, and it was good because it was true.
You know, I guess before we do covers, I really want to talk about kind of pre-AI, the great race, and I'm not talking about an ethnic race, but the race of running race, so to speak, of people who were trying to do the next AI like video game type thing, and also Watch Together has crashed, so that's interesting. Maybe their servers are not used to this level of activity early on in the day on Sunday.
I think that's it. It's,
Maybe this video just doesn't work. Does this video load for you when you click it? We can just watch it separately.
Yeah, I can watch it in YouTube. Yeah.
So this is like, I don't know what MobiZen is, but it's like this 3D. It's a 3D like animated music video for the song where all of the guys. Well, two of them look like Jerry Seinfeld, and one of them, Mike Dirnt, is a redhead. And then there's like portraits of middle-aged women on the wall behind them in this gallery. I mean, what do you think of this?
Strange. I mean, this is
it's uploaded by Green Day official videos, but I don't think that can't be right. Is it official?
You know, these are official. I mean, I think it looks great.
I love it.
I hope that this technology sort of comes back.
It's really cool. So again, before we get into covers, I do want to show you a couple real quick things from the extremely nerdy world of Green Day fandom. This was on the single, and I don't know if you're going to be able to tell, but this is the Richard Dodd medium wide mix of the song. I don't know if it'll come through Watch Together very well through how we listen to the
it's
pod.
working. It's working. Oh, but how medium and how wide is it going to?
Yeah, does it sound medium wide to you? By the way, something we haven't said enough so far this Green Bay. Incredible bass playing. Complementing the song perfectly, doing such interesting things. Does it sound medium wide?
I feel like it sounds small wide. What do you think?
I think I can hear some medium width to it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely not.
Have they done something like?
If I had said this is,
squinting.
if this is large, wait, what's bigger than wide? If this is large cavern, obviously you would know what that sounds like. If I said this is little narrow, you would. This sounds medium wide to me.
Little narrow really sounds again like we're in like little space territory, which I'm still shocked that was not something you were familiar with.
Well, Lefty Guitarist has done another very subtle change to the song. This is just putting E flat tuning.
Oh, okay. No, now I realize that. I was like, this sounds different, but I was like, oh, that's because the bass really thumps.
This doesn't sound medium wide at all.
No. It sounds thumpy.
I just love the idea of just being like, I'm gonna remix this down a half step because my username is Lefty Guitar. It's just so many little quirks to that person. God bless him. This now we'll get into it. There's no Nightcore, but instead, this is really. I figured this would have made a lot more sense if it was midnight on a Monday night, but instead it's. It's not that nice out. It's kind of a shitty Sunday. And it's kind of a chore time.
Pouring rain here. It's like it's pretty.
So maybe this will hit. Yeah. This is a Doomer Wave version of it.
Oh, this is cool.
Yeah, this is pretty sick.
Oh, yeah.
So, it kind of sounds like The Caretaker or something, like some like highbrow shit. In fact, I would say adding the Doomer Groiper to the art took away from how. I understand the temptation to do that, but I would have treated this more highbrow.
It's extracting it. Yeah, it's detracting from it. I'm not.
but it sounds
not
really
looking at
good.
it. I'm just vibing.
The listener gets to have a special. We're taking the hit by looking at the internet-y part.
This is cool though.
Well, let's get sunny again. This is a 8-bit version. I don't think that's an officially licensed photo of Mario, so one thing I might have to complain about.
Oh, this is great.
There we go. Now I'm happy.
Yeah.
Now I don't mind that I have to do chores after this.
What kind of chores are you looking at right now?
Oh, just the usual. Kitchen. I think I gotta do the floors. That's the one thing I always put off, cleaning up the floors. I'll do like a maintenance sweep, but I think I gotta get the Swiffer out, Gotta go real hard.
Oh, wow. Swiffer time.
So that's the 8-bit one. Now we're getting into the real instruments. I don't know. Do you know these people? Were you here for this? This is from The Fest. Something called The Fest in Gainesville.
I mean, I recognize the iconography, but I cannot say I am familiar with sarcasm.
Sarcasm being spelled like this, I guess, to mean chasm. When I saw this, I just assumed that it was like an Indonesia pop punk band. But it turns out it's, I think, North American band, and that makes the name not as cool to me, really, for some reason. I guess it says more probably about me. Were you at this one, Fest 16?
No. I think the last fest I went to was like 11. Something that we've talked about before, I'm sure.
Yeah, I wasn't listening.
I've done this exact same thing, yeah. Nice harms there from the drummer.
The bass player has a cool bass.
Yeah, that's a sick bass.
It looks like they're playing at like 2 p.m. at a comic convention.
Yeah, the vibe is off for sure. But I mean, what a tune.
I was hoping that you'd be friends with Sarcasm.
You can't say
No,
I'm
let's get the fuck out of Fest and check out Hannah Jacobs with this lovely Twee cover that has done really well. 20,000 views or something.
Oh, wow.
Kind of like Gillian Welch vibes or something. It seems like someone who would have been signed to Asthmatic Kitty, like right when that label was starting.
Yeah.
A little bit of vocal acrobatics on there.
I mean, this is fucking great.
This is uploaded by Splendid Fred Records, which is the University of Winchester's official record label. This university has an official record label?
Wow. What a cool
It's like
school.
Two failing financial concepts at once. Oh, you know what? We watched Hannah Jacobs before because she's done a cover of 21 Guns.
Did we love it? That feels like a long time ago.
I don't know. I hope so, because this is so nice. Good work, Hannah. I hope you get an A in your record label degree. Here's Joel. This guy's good at imitating the voice. We've seen this guy before, too. He films it in a way where he looks so tiny, and the guitar looks so big, and his hands look enormous. He's like a tiny man with enormous hands. He looks like a Final Fantasy guy with that big sword, but with a guitar.
Also has like weird racist facial hair.
But like, I feel like it's pretty. People are good at singing like Billy Joe without sounding like a parody.
Yeah, he's conjuring the sort of edges of the voice nice.
I think the racism you're picking up on too is because you can't see the top of. He's wearing a plain black hat. Like, he looks incognito. He looks like he's like in hiding because he's committed a crime somewhere. And they're like, that would be like in a news story. They're like, he would have got away with it if he didn't start uploading Green Day covers. But he just couldn't resist. Okay, well, let's move on before we keep calling that guy racist for no reason. This is
Yeah, it's like so bad.
Ciudadano, maybe? I don't know how to say this guy's name, but doesn't matter. Who cares? Nice strumming going on, though. Everyone sounds a little bit like Billy Joe when they sing it. I don't know why.
Yeah. It all feels like multiverse Billy Joe's, though.
Yeah. Well, now that would be. That proves there's still some juice in that fruit, the multiverse tree. I would love to see too many Billy Joes or whatever. I mean, this one's just nice. Too many of these are just nice, though. It's kind of boring. And this one, I just thought the name was cool. This is called the Black T-Shirt Association. I don't know how this song was already playing before he sat down and...
They're sort of like recreating the kind of like vibe of the video, but just like in a room where nothing else is happening.
In the practice space.
Like he's doing the same kind of look.
But why does he also sound exactly like Billy Joe?
Maybe it's just because he's got a way of like shaping his vowels, and everyone's doing the same thing.
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
All right, I mean, that's kind of like most of the, like, I didn't write down all the good vibes. Well, good vibes in a sort of a traditional sense, but this one also has good vibes. But that's because this is a bald middle-aged man in a little girl's room with frozen bed sheets with a creepy flickering light up top.
Oh, wow.
So this bald man keeps glancing at the camera. He's playing a barely plugged in Les Paul ripoff. I would assume he's on his daughter's bed or something, but there's frozen bed sheets and mushroom pillows and then butterflies and daisies on the wall. And then the fan above is causing the light to flicker the entire time. So it's a very interesting collection of feelings all at once while you watch this.
This is so unsettling.
He's doing great, though.
Oh, nailing it, but like, what a strange collection of images this is.
This is Double J Studio. He's like kind of, I mean, I think he's the kind of bald where it's like you can't really fight it, and so you just like you own it. You can tell he's comfortable with his baldness.
But I feel like he's got too much going on the sides. Like it's not a Statham. It's like I think this man needs to go full on.
Oh, you think he needs? Wait, you think he needs to bick it?
Yeah.
I strongly disagree. I think he has like kind of.
Really?
In fact, I think David Cross's most redeeming quality is his baldness, and I think this guy is David Cross bald. So I think I think he's. Okay. I think this is the dream. Bicking your bald head is another sign of insecurity that you're not comfortable. That's what I'm saying. He's.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So while we're kind of in the kids' room, this is uploaded by someone named Zeus, and you'll see they have a whole bunch of plushies on their chair that they just sit on top of. And the graphic flashes.
Oh, wow, sick graphics.
Really cool guitar. The guitar has a heart-shaped cutout in the middle.
That's a cool guitar. You should get that guitar.
I would love to. I need to get an acoustic, so I don't have one.
How do you play Redundant?
I don't. I've never played it. I would love to play this song.
Mistake.
Interesting, different chords being thrown in. And you can see this person, Zeus, is singing along, but their face is cut off mostly. I just don't get why they sat. This one I really want to hear the guitar solo. Oh, they didn't even do it. All right, well, you know what? Still a great vid. Thank you for sitting on those teddy bears in this creepy-ass room. Let's keep going. This is someone named Trash Alien. Just real quick. I don't know. This just seemed like someone covering it, acoustic, that was worth taking a quick look at. with a Wild Stallions hoodie.
Wild Stallions hoodie, yeah, sick.
And they also said, like, oh, sorry about my last upload. The audio didn't work, so it was just visual. So this is the re-upload that probably has about 20 views. Yeah, still a little bit of the... There's sort of a middle-wide singing method that Billy Joe does. It's in here. I mean, not much to say. Trash Alien. This is called Type Beat. And the type beat is the drummer just hitting a drum pad in front of a Christmas tree with...
Oh my God.
Someone playing a bass that maybe is plugged in, maybe not. Acoustic guitar. And then a guy hitting a drum pad.
Yeah, this is sad though. I don't like this.
You don't like it? Or you do?
No. I don't like it.
What do you not like about it? Is it the Funko Pops?
It's the drum pad. It's the drum pad and the Funkos. Yeah, it's the Funkos.
I think you have. What I'm learning is you have to spread your Funkos around. Once their Funkos are all collected in one place, it starts to look sad. They have
Consolidated Funkos is the problem.
Yeah. What kind of flag is on the wall behind? I mean, this is definitely like some dorm roommates or something. They're not related.
It's too nice of a tree for a dorm.
But like, yeah, it's like a Christmas. It sounds really good when they're all sing together.
Perfect Christmas tree.
Whoa.
Oh.
That's true.
Fuck me.
The Christmas tree is really
great.
fucking it up because the Funkos and the flag, which seems to be some kind of like circa skate shoes or something logo on an American flag that's hand painted. Like this has dorm vibes, but then the tree is it's like a tree that a mom would set up. Like what?
That's what I mean. It's a real mom's tree.
It's mom's tree, but mom wouldn't let you put all those Funkos up there by the tree.
I know.
So
Look,
what's
it's mom's tree, but not but son's Funkos.
Yeah, whose house is this?
It's confusing.
That's
hand painted American flag.
I can see why you were unsettable. Okay, let's move on. This is Punk's Covers, is what it says, but it's uploaded by Rock Covers, and it's just this cool teen. He doesn't have Funkos. He has real Star Wars figures, not Funkos. And he did this thing where he's playing in the room with himself, like he's punched himself in on bass after, but it almost seems like a reflection at first when he was facing.
Once again, I think copying the videos vibe, like kind of the listless staring into the camera.
Yeah, true. His laptop background is the Breaking Bad camper van.
Yeah,
but no Funkos. I think. In fact, there's so many action figures in every corner of this room, but the lack of Funkos seems like maybe some kind of statement, really.
We got like...
I lost my voice. I hate... That's kind of the plot of The Hangover. He lost his voice.
Lost his voice, yeah.
This one is by Stray Dog. And I fucking love it because it's from Glasgow and it has some really nice. Scottish guys love to do like Proclaimers ass, like acoustic and then belt it out on top.
We're living in repetition, contending the same old stick again. Now the routine's turned into contention.
This is great. This song's so nice.
It's such a nice song.
Like a production line going over and over and over, roller coaster. Now I cannot speak.
Ooh.
I've lost my voice. Speechless and redundant.
Beautiful. I feel like I'm watching Gregory's Girl something. Local hero.
Choreographed and lack of passion.
Oh, Scottish guys, what are you doing? You're so fucking beautiful.
Yeah, congrats to Scottish guys for everything that you've accomplished and given us. Thank you also.
So this one is, I just wrote down kind of funky when I was doing this morning. This is Joe.
Hi, my name is Joe W. Wilson. This is a cover by a band called Green Day. It's called Redundant.
Cover of a band called Green Day. Joe, I think was what you're trying to say. He's got to put a little Jack Johnson stank on it though. There's something about hearing some Jack Johnson stank on like an old broken webcam in a dingy basement. It's very odd. Like we can only see his head, but this video, the video in and of itself seems barefoot, is how I would say it.
This is the best version of the song.
I lost my voice. Okay, here's an awesome little kid named Kalo.
Hey guys, today I'm doing Redundant.
What's up, Kalo?
This kid is sick.
I have to read the lyrics, so sorry about that.
He's already listening to Green
I
Day.
know a lot of people don't like it when I do that, but I'm not good with this song either. I'm just doing their hits. Let's get started.
Yes.
What a fucking vibe.
How old do you think this kid is? Like 14?
Yeah, that seems like a good guess.
Living in rapid position.
I definitely would have done this in my room as well. Although I never had a TV in my room. I felt like that was rich kid shit to have the tube TV in your room.
No, that's Lux Punk. But this kid is like, close the door to their room. They're kind of like, this. You just got to put this. You'll get.
Yeah, I can't even explain it. Although this is weirdly only from 6 years ago. I thought it would have been from like
What?
It seems like I guess it is widescreen, but it has like 1999 vibes all around.
No, it feels like it's from our youth. Even though, yeah, you're right. I think the aspect ratio kind of betrays.
But it is a universal feeling of being like a teen.
But also the tube TV is like feels old.
The one comment says, hey, play Yu-Gi-Oh! Dual Generation. So hopefully they figured that out and played Yu-Gi-Oh! Together. But love that kid. I love this one. This one is uploaded by Ron. I've written down that it's so sweaty and shirtless because it's just, especially like again, don't worry, I'll post some of these and obviously I'll have them all in Discord. But these guys, this is just even just like starting on this shot of a poster. I don't know who that is. Like I feel like I'm sweating from this.
Oh my god, it's so hot. Oh my god.
They've got their shirts off.
Everyone is pouring sweat.
They're just like playing just hammering away on some slow 4-on-the-floor version of the song. And whoever is filming it really seems to love focusing on the one symbol.
Yeah.
Like maybe they're also just like dying of heat stroke. Oh, it's the guy. I think the guy singing is the one filming it. That's why.
Oh wow. Okay.
Was that guy unfolding a towel?
Yeah. You should be dabbing these guys off. I mean, the drummer looks like he's gonna pass out.
That's so sweaty. So that's the sweaty and shirtless one. Now here's a really cool drum cover. This is Bernie, and he starts the song and just speeds over to get to his drums, which are set up in his bedroom, which is pretty sick. Look at that! Yes. Look how quickly he makes it for the first hit. Whoa!
Wow. That's gotta be some kind of record.
That's so good. And he also said in the comments that he put his camera on top of his stereo, hoping that it would sound good. And I mean, it sounds pretty fucked, but.
And also, it's like vibrating a little bit.
Yeah. And there's a chair with a big 2-liter of Canada Dry on it, which is pretty sick. Gotta stay hydrated.
Yes. Yeah.
I love how every once in a while, like, this bizarre new recording method just cuts through with some loud. He's doing great, though. Honestly, sitting down in time to hit the first note is incredible. I'm very proud of him for that.
That's he could have been much worse, and I still would have said it was a big W.
Barely know you, Bernie, and you nailed it. So while we're in the drum zone, this is Osage E doing a electric drum cover. Again, this is just and this says mess up electric drum cover. Actually, you should just sort of bask in in that still already. This kind of looks like some sort of leaked this footage looks leaked, I think I would say, is the aesthetic of this video. And it says, this is the part where I almost nearly messed up the drum cover of Redundant, originally performed by Green Day from their original 1997 album Nimrod, with my official DTX 430K electronic drums. First note, I am a true expert of knowing my official favorite songs in my head, and now you guys are going to see me covered it. Dunned and dunned. I don't own the music nor the album. So a lot to chew on with Osagi's caption. And, I mean, just a sick setup all around.
Oh, my God, yes.
And this is from 2018, just so you know. I mean, that doesn't mean anything to those at home, but this looks like it's from the future, I think. This looks like a crime of the future, almost. And I like he doesn't include the...
No, it's just the drum. Like, and you could isolate this and use this.
But what kind of kick pattern is that? It's like dun 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 dun. He's doing like offbeat. Oh, now he's hitting it.
I just love how low he set the drums up.
I would love to hear the song on top, like.
Yeah, I want a mix that like puts this in. Yeah.
It's so sick. So that's the drum cover section. Real quick, this is a Gene Vest guy that I just thought we probably need to. Wow. He said a G chord. Nobody in the world knows what that is. I think he has a baby chair behind him. And he's doing like early Beck chords.
Talking about people giving off a bit of a racist energy, eh?
You're very sensitive to people's facial hair.
Oh, no. This guy's whole body looks racist to me. This guy has like, so he's bald. He's got a real wily kind of like goatee.
And then he's shirtless with a jean vest. I thought it was a battle vest at first, but it has no patches, which I think is even more sinister. He also says, I'm on a journey to hear every song ever. Join me as I travel the musical universe. What does that mean?
Maybe, he wants to hear it all. You know, he's a citizen of the world.
He wants to hear every song ever? I mean, it seems like he hasn't heard this song yet, and he's covering it without Why are you covering a song if you're trying to... This is actually what his channel says. It's called Every Song Ever. I'm on a journey to hear every song ever recorded, and I'll be discussing all things related to this musical journey with you. That's so cool.
That's so sick.
So
has he heard this? Like, what is his...
Green Day is the gold standard of music, but I enjoy a wide variety of music. I'm on a journey to hear every song ever recorded, after all. There's about 12,000 years of music in the world right now. So first he's going to listen to the entire discography of his favorite 230 artists. Then I give that artist or band a percentage, and I can honestly rank them accordingly. After I catch up with my top 230, I've got a secondary list of artists I've only heard a few songs by. So if there's 12,000 years of music, how could you possibly listen to it all? I don't understand this premise of this show. Do you?
No, I really don't. It looks like all of his recent, like he's kind of doing like I can literally see Finn McKenty in some of his thumbnails. Like he's transitioned into like Finn McKenty kind of music commentary.
Okay, he gave up on listening to every song.
Yeah,
I think that's a pretty good idea to listen. That's too bad that he doesn't. I like he hasn't updated his bio. That's
yeah. Why not?
I mean, how could you do it? Like, how long? It looks like this guy doesn't have that much longer to live. I'm just going to be honest, and I don't think I do either. I'm just saying he's already lived quite a few lives. So, presumably, let's say he has 40 years left. That's how many? How do you fit 12,000 into 40? I think he's going to have to be listening to like 5,000, or I'm really bad at math, 3,000 songs at once. At a time or something. I don't know how you could do it. I love the passion, but I don't see how it's possible. But I guess he gave up.
I mean,
on
maybe
it too.
he's banking on the idea that like extending your life is something that's
feasible, so that he can just keep
coming soon. Yeah.
All right. Here's a nice little palate cleanser. This is Darren. He's just a nice little normie RA type of guy. And he's just rocking it on bass in the music room at school. Look at him go.
Oh, yeah.
Playing with his fingers. He's got like a classic rock stance. I think he's got a 5-string.
He's having so much fun with it, yeah.
5-string like Epiphone. I don't know if that's like an Explorer or something. It's some kind of like very... It looks like a Thin Lizzy instrument to me. Look at him go. He's rocking it.
This guy is just like, it's like he's auditioning.
All right, I've saved kind of the best ones for this final section. Now that we're cheered up from Darren's.
Oh.
Ooh. That sounds pretty bad to do that.
Not a fan.
But he's rocking it. Let's move on. This is Team Perfect, who come up whenever we talk about like certain big pop punk songs from the olden days. Of course, this is Devontae Hines and Florence and the Machine Lady. What's her name? Florence the Machine? What's her actual real name? Florence Machine?
Florence Welsh, I believe is her.
Oh, yeah, okay. So it's Florence Welch and Devontae Hines. I think you're right. So this is them. I don't know, I know there's like lore behind this.
Interestingly enough, though, I believe she is not Welsh.
I think it's pronounced Welch, like the grape.
Interestingly enough, she's not a grape.
I think she's pretty damn grape. I mean, this is like... I just felt like we had to play this, but I don't really care about it. Do you?
No, I mean, look, we checked the box, though.
We checked the box, exactly. Now let's get to the good shit. Let's get to a uke cover by Grizzy Music that is like a very high budget, a very interesting Euro dreadlock mullet uke cover.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Okay, we're in the woods.
This guy he seems like a Andy Samberg or Kyle Mooney character where you're like, what? I know that you're like trying to do a European accent, but what's the character supposed to be? Like, what is this character you're doing? Well, it's this guy, I think. But then just beautiful. They're also copying the video, I think. Well, he has a uke bass. You see the guy and you're like, I don't think I can make it through this video. And then he starts singing and you're like...
It has this like... The doubling, like his voice doesn't sound anything like Stevie Merritt's, but it's got a bit of a like...
Yeah.
Maybe Fieldsy vibe? Yeah.
I've never seen a uke bass before though. Like he's literally just like cooking on the uke bass.
You really cannot judge a book by its cover.
Unless it's an actual book, in which case you probably can. All right, let's keep going. I got a couple more really great ones.
He's got to do something about that hair, though.
Yeah, I mean, he just needs to. We need to queer eye him, and then he'll be fine. I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Are we allowed to queer eye people? I think that they should finally let straight guys queer eye people.
It's entered the public domain. Yeah, I think that's how queer eye.
All right, let's move on to Mick, who is doing a surf rock cover with a cool photo of his pedal board, picture in picture. I feel like I've disparaged surf rock before, but this song really works as a surf rock tune.
Oh, that's cool, yeah. Oh, yeah.
This is a guy who just like sits around thinking about tones, reverbs. This is like this guy's life's work. He probably like brings it up at dinner with his girlfriend. She's like, "Please shut the fuck up about vibrato." And then he made this video, and he was completely vindicated.
This is awesome.
Look at all these picture in picture. I love that one so much. So shout out Mick Bulow. Now this next one, we started with the doomer that was kind of ruined by being too internet-y. This one I think Jacob here could have gotten away with it without the self-aware intro, but I think he ruined it.
I don't like this.
He's doing some awkward Tim and Eric
coming out.
See,
it's Jacob Schaefer, the cosmic rock star. You're beautiful. This one is for you.
You should have just done straight up, because listen how good it sounds.
We're living in a repetition.
Yeah, this is great. The intro is tough, though.
Content in the same old shtick again.
He should have just, let the memes happen naturally. Don't put memes on your own. Don't try to control the meme narrative.
Like a production line going over and 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 over. Roller coaster, I cannot speak. I lost my voice, speechless and
this is great.
It's so good.
Cause I love you's not enough. I'm lost for
those jazz chords. Oh my god, see? It's like actually so sexy and beautiful, but he's just being too funny with it. So,
he's not letting it be sexy.
Yeah, just be sexy for
Sometimes
once.
you just gotta let it be
Jacob.
sexy.
Come on, Jacob. Be sexy for us. Okay, up next, this one is acoustic instrumental, but what's interesting about it is it arrives with a photo of like a swoop-haired emo band, and I don't understand why they're in it because it sounds like it doesn't fit at all.
This is not the band, yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. Look, it has this beautiful Mellotron. Like the band looks like it's like a band that opened hall shows in Syracuse, New York, called like A Plague of Angels Get Their Wings or something. And then this music sounds delightful. It does even more. Like, you just give it a second, but I don't understand. Like, do we need to queer eye this as well? This channel?
I think so, yeah. Look, it's time for us to. That should be what the pot of balls is. It's just us queer eyeing people from the cover section.
Oh, also doing the little octave bass. I think that Mellotron comes back. Maybe not. There was just Mellotron for like. Oh, that's so. Why does that Mellotron never come back? That's odd. It's only at the start.
Bring that beat back.
But anyways, very strange mixture of ideas and sounds. Well, this one, we got 3 left here. This is the Allens. Now, one of these Allens is not like the other because there's a very little kid playing guitar with a normal-aged person. And I am saying kids are not normal-aged.
Yeah, it's not right.
But the kid is sick, and the kid pulls off some harms later on.
So that is the normal-aged person singing.
Yeah, and it sounds like there's a bird chirping in the background, too, so that's cool. The kid is just playing single notes, but it looks like they're the right notes. And the kid's playing, like, left-handedly, but upside down, like when you have the guitar upside down. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Aww.
So cute.
Yeah, this is nice.
Kind of with
That's nice.
With the more heartwarming vibes, I wanted to play you this one. This is uploaded by Heartfelt Sorrow. Now, Heartfelt Sorrow lives in Tucson, Arizona, so I'm not sure if they're friends with our friend 155 Normie, who did win Sam's contest, by the way. I don't know if you've
that's
settled
true.
that yet, or if you've settled
They
the
didn't.
account.
They didn't send it in an email. The rules were very, very clear.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So what? The rules were clear. The rules were clear. It wasn't a Twitter contest.
So this is hard. I mean, 155 Normie's a dumbass. You can't expect him to follow the rules. Also, is the other thing. But okay.
Hello.
Yeah. Oh,
what? Oh, I just lost you for like. I was like, "Are you really mad at me about?"
Am I here now?
Yeah, you're back now, so it's fine. I'll just assume that you agreed with me.
I said something really funny about 155 Normie, and now we're just making it weird. So let's move on. This is Heartfelt Sorrow, who also lives in Tucson, Arizona. Well, it doesn't snow very often there, and so when it does, Heartfelt Sorrow thought, you know, I'm feeling this heartfelt sorrow right now. I'm going to do an acoustic cover of Redundant in the Snow by my snow-covered trampoline. Such a good vibe.
Wow. Like it's mostly a shot of the trampoline. They're just like off to the side.
It's so... Heartfelt Sorrow says, so today was a special day because today I woke up to lots of snow. And I mean lots of snow. The most snow I've ever seen. For those that don't know, I live in Tucson, Arizona, a city that's in a big desert where it never snows until today. So in celebration of this crazy weather, here's me playing an acoustic cover of Redundant by Green Day. Hope y'all enjoy. Someone named Carly says, I'm so proud of you. I love you so much. You're so great. Keep it up. Caitlin says, awesome job, JJ. Love you tons. Everyone loves Heartfelt Sorrow.
I mean, yeah.
And I can see, I love him too. I mean, this is such a great vibe.
We're on the heart sore train.
I mean, this is 2019. Do you think in 2019, if you lived, I mean, obviously it's hard to imagine because we both experience a lot of snow, but if you were in a freak snowstorm, would you be like, and I'm being serious, this is like pure like artistry to be like, oh, there's this freak snowstorm. What if I do a vibey acoustic cover of an obscure Green Day single? Like, that's so cool.
That's what separates artists from, you know, us mere mortals.
That's true. Beautiful heart. So this is the final one, and it kind of along those lines of kind of world weirdness. I don't know what this fellow's deal is. This is Paul in, I guess, Boobyland? Bubbyland. Paul in Boobyland. This is a YouTube short, so once I hit play, there's nothing we can do. But this is Paul in Boobyland, and this is just a perfect level of world weirdness to close us out as we kind of have the Sunday scaries together. And he also has lots of stuffed animals behind him.
We're living in a repetition.
So sick!
They did the same old stick again.
This guy has like the Terry Richardson glasses, but like authentic.
Yeah. There's like so much shit on his desk. I hope I'm like this when I'm old.
I think you're like this now.
A pile of garbage behind me and
I cannot speak. Lost my voice. Speech and lesson read them down. Cause I
read them down too. And then it's like a fragment.
Oh, that's it.
It's like a fragment. It just ended like that. So, I mean, that's
all we get. Some things are just too beautiful to stay.
This is a beautiful song. My final thoughts are I love this song sincerely. It's so good. It's so heartwarming. And it's about loving your wife, which is one of the greatest things on earth. And there's, we were even during the break, we're like, do we just is there nothing to this song? And yet, no, there are still plenty of adorable weirdos out there doing all kinds of things with it. So what a great time it is to do the pod, I think is my final thought.
This song taught me to love like white guys with dreads in the woods with ukuleles, which like, if that is how powerful this song is, I mean, that might make it the most powerful song ever written.
I cannot speak, lost my voice, speech and lesson read them down.
I'm very excited to welcome, I think he's been behind the paywall a few times. And every time we collaborate, he's always kind of, one would argue, either anchored or weighed down by someone else, be it Stefan or Brian. Well, he's here on his own. He's flying free as a bird. It's from Blocked Party, P.O.D. Kast. Also a curling show. There's so many things that you are from. Stand-up comedian, my friend John Cullen. Welcome to your very own guest spot on 155.
Thank you. God, it feels amazing. And I feel like we're both equally unburdened today. You don't have Sam weighing you down. Exactly. Brian's not here. It's like when the parents are away, the boys will play or whatever they say. We're gonna play. Yeah.
Something I've learned recently. And I must have just completely missed this, and I apologize it's taking me this long, but this is so important. One thing that I am, there's two things that we both are, there's probably more things. Actually, what year were you born also?
1985.
85. So we're both 85 boys, which is big. And so is Sam.
Yeah, that is big. That's big.
Stefan, what is he born like 2003 or something?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Stefan was. Yeah, it's so tough to tell when your growth is stunted in such a way. It's like tough to know how old he is.
And Brian was born in like 65 or something.
Yeah. Brian was born in the Bay of Pigs conflict, and Stefan was born on Y2K, and that's basically all you need to know.
That's how you fit in. But
that's how you fit it in.
Wait, what month? 85. I need to place you between Sam and I.
I need to, and you want my credit card number and my social insurance number too.
Is this secret?
Yeah, October 1985.
So you are young. You're the youngest of 85
of the three of you guys.
On the pod here.
Fair.
Okay,
it's a late birthday. I'm younger than most born in 85. I'm late. I'm Halloween 85.
Wait, actual Halloween?
Actual Halloween.
Oh my God, that's so spooky. I'm curious if we would have been in the same grade, but I don't even remember what year I graduated. So I don't know.
Yes, we would have been.
August 85. Sam's March 85.
Yeah.
Is that you're that's the other thing. You're a school teacher.
Yeah. We're same grade. We're same grade boys. Yeah.
Okay, same grade.
Were you in the gifted program?
Someone was talking about that today. The funny thing is, like when I was young, I couldn't pay attention in school and I was doing really bad. And my dad, I remember in grade 4 or something, it's going to get too complicated, but I started elementary school in Scotland and then we moved back to Canada in grade 4. But you also start earlier there. So I was technically in grade 5 when we moved back, but then I went back down to grade 4 to be with people my age because they were developing a lot earlier than me. And my parents were like, I think you should be developing at the same time as these people.
That was like me too, actually. Because we were in the era where they still let you skip grades. I don't even think that's on the,
Is that
that's
not
not even
anymore?
On the table.
Well,
no. But I was in a grade 1-2 split class, and I was so smart that I was doing. And I'm not. This is not a brag. I'm not smart anymore. I'm a very stupid.
Well, because we both have gifted kid burnout. Is why we just goof around. All the time.
We're fucking exactly. The Green Day song "Burnout" is about us.
Well, we're not talking about that song.
I know we're not growing up, but we're just burning out. But they told my parents, they're like, he's basically doing all the grade 2 work anyway. If you want him to skip grade 2, he can. But I was easily the smallest and shortest kid in my class. Because both my parents are tiny. People can't believe it. Like my dad's 5'5" and my mom's 5'3", and I'm 6. I'm 6.
You're 6. Fuck. So you're the youngest and tallest 85 on the show. That's fucked.
Yeah. I'm 6 feet and a half inch, and then my parents are both super small. So but when I was growing up, I didn't hit my growth spurt until like grade 10. So when I was growing up, I was very small, and I think my parents were like, he's going to get bullied anyway because he's smart and a nerd moron loser. But then I was also like a little peanut. So they're like, he's going to get bullied verbally and physically. And
that's crazy.
We better keep him with his.
And yet in both of your pod pairings, you're the well-adjusted one. You're kind of the Sam of those groups, I think.
That's the that's the kind of thought, Stefan, it's weird because Stefan is obviously like an online freak, of course, but like in life, aside from the fact that he's on the spectrum, he lives his life pretty, like he's a fairly normal. He went to private school. He comes from like a well-to-do family. Like he's not a rich kid.
I'm here. I know what I heard. I know what I heard.
But okay, well, he's adopted, so he's kind of like, it's kind of a weird, like when you're adopted, I feel like even if you're adopted into a rich family, it's like you're rich, but like that you could have been, it could have been much worse. You know what I mean? So, anyway,
this is getting wild already. Well, anyways, long story short,
this is too wild.
I wasn't paying attention in school or trying at all in elementary school, but my dad was convinced that was because I was too smart for what they were. So he finagled me into some like smart kid program in like elementary school. And then he tried to get me to go to IB, and I was like, I was like, don't you understand? I don't want to do any work. I don't want to do more work. Why would I do this? Like, no.
I'm not paying attention because I don't want to pay attention.
It's not because I'm smart.
I hate paying attention.
There's nothing worse than paying attention. But, so we're a couple of 85 gifted kids with burnout.
Yeah.
The main thing that we'll talk about Green Day in a second.
Yeah, who cares?
The main thing I'm so excited about to have recently learned is that you are a fellow bevvy boy. I had no idea that you. Yeah. This has been such a big part of my identity. I quit drinking like I think 6 years ago or something like that, and quickly I realized part of the reason I needed to quit drinking was not just because of. Sure, it's the volume, but it's also this like extreme obsession with bevies, and so luckily I transferred that into all other kinds, seltzers, sodas, the whole gamut of bevies, really. So that's kind of been my journey. Now, I feel like you and I are just scratching the surface with bevy talk. I've been punishing you in the DMs with my thoughts.
No punishment. I love talking.
I cracked
bevs.
open a Rise before we started, and I remember you were kind of poo-pooing Rise, but they're so
Rise
cheap.
is Rise is a low end brand for me.
I live above kind of bougie grocery store. And they boast about having the best Rise prices in Montreal. So
interesting. Rise is from Quebec, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But like it's like $1. It's like 2 for $6 downstairs. So it's like hard to argue with those prices.
That's pretty good for kombucha. 2 for $6 is a nice deal. It's a nice deal for a couple bottles.
But I think this is just the beginning of something, not the end. But I guess to introduce John Cullen, Bevy Boy, let me know kind of. When did the Bev obsession start, and what's been your journey with Bevs?
Great question. So I've never drank. I've been sober my whole life. I never had the the sort of joke or origin story or the 12 steps or anything. I just I don't have a good reason either. It's always like people always want.
It was because you were a nerd, or were you raised in a cult?
It was because I thought I was better than everyone.
Oh, well, that's a perfect
really
reason.
The main.
That's a good reason. That's the correct reason.
Yeah.
And you are.
Of course, we both are. But if you're listening to this while drinking, put it down. You're a loser.
They already know. We have a Bev check channel on our Discord.
Oh, yes.
Where people post regular Bevs. And there's not a hard rule to not post alcohol, but if you do, everyone's kind of like, I don't know about this.
Interesting.
I don't want to see the IPA you're sipping. Now, if it was if it was a Sans Alcohol IPA from the Sans Alcohol brand, beautiful cans that they have.
Then you'd be into it. Yeah. No, I would. So people do Bev checks in the Block Party Discord, but we don't have a specific channel. And I would say most of the time it's alcoholic. But people do post non-alcoholic. I mean, I don't know if I don't think I mentioned this to you, but I'm in a Facebook group called Now Fizzing, and it's literally just people posting pictures of themselves drinking seltzer. So I don't know if that if that appeals to you.
Please
but
get me in there. Do I need an invite?
Yeah, I can send you an invite. But yeah, it's like it's funny because it's a lot of Americans, so they'll be like, "Ooh, I got this new seasonal," because Polar does seasonals, which we never get. I mean, it's hard to get Polar in Canada.
Can you even get it? Like my new thing is I drive to Burlington once a month and just fill my trunk with Polar. Like it's like weighing it down.
That's definitely the best way to do it. So you can get Polar, at least in Vancouver, because Vancouver has a whole like sort of illegal item bodega culture. I think it's just because we're so close to America. So you get these like convenience store owners who will drive down to Bellingham and fill up their trunk, and then they resell it for exorbitant prices in their store.
Yeah.
And so you can get Polar here, but it's not the same. And a lot of, like in the Eastern Seaboard, where Polar's mainly kind of from, they do like seasonals, and they have the mini cans and all that stuff. So when those pop off, people in the Now Fizzing group really like to weigh in on like, ooh, this seasonal kind of, whoa, okay. So there's a lot of fun stuff in the Now Fizzing channel.
But have you always been a bevvy boy since you were born?
So, yeah, I mean, I guess like I was a big Coca-Cola guy. That was my so I started out as like a big pop. Like I loved pop and sugary. Like I'm a big sugar daddy. Not sexually, but taste wise. Love desserts, love candy, all that. I'm like a giant kid. There was a comedian in Vancouver, Garrett Quinton, who used to have this great joke about how he loved going grocery shopping and having a kid behind him in line, because the kid would look at the belt and be like, oh my God, it is possible when you're an adult to just buy whatever you want. He's like, yeah, we're doing it, kid. Like, he's like, yeah, I've got 6 boxes of ice cream cones, not a vegetable in sight. And it's like, yeah, you can do this when you're an adult.
I was remembering a dark summer, like when I was like, I got married really young. And when I was first married, I think I was 20 probably. And we were living in English Bay. And I don't know if it's still there, but there was that 7-Eleven on Denman. And I remember...
Yeah, it's gone, but I know the one you're talking about.
I remember a dark summer where literally every single day I had a small Coke Slurpee. Like, having small is the adult choice, but it was literally every single day. It was like actually for like probably 60 days in a row.
When we grew up near a Max, Max convenience, and I was in high school. By the way,
where was this?
White Rock, BC.
Oh,
well, I grew up in Toronto. Like I'm born and raised in Toronto. I lived in Mississauga and Newmarket. Then my family moved to White Rock when I was 13. So we moved out to White Rock, and the Max by my house, when Mellow Yellow was a big pop, they had Mellow Yellow Slurpees, and that was like, to me, Slurpees never got better than that. Mellow Yellow Slurpee, oh my God, it was incredible. I went so much. And did not indulge in a small. So, but yeah, so I was always a Coca-Cola guy. Like, I don't like coffee. So I would even drink, like in university, I would drink a Coke in the morning if I was like really tired. I would, because I also commuted from White Rock to UBC.
Right.
So like I would wake up sometimes at 6 a.m. for a 9 a.m. morning class or whatever. So it's like wake up, shower, drive to school. I'm exhausted. I would have a Coke and a bagel in my like morning class, and that was my like morning. But yeah, I was pretty like, I would say solid 2 to 4 Cokes a day. And I told the famous story on Block Party. Like one night I drank 5.2 liters of pop. I drank 2 600 mils of Coke, a 2 liter of Coke, and a 2 liter of Mellow Yellow.
Wow.
And, I was fucking ripping. And I also, by the way, weighed like 145 pounds. I looked like Slender Man.
That's the worst. The people who can do, I mean, probably it's better that doesn't happen to me, because I would have died of diabetes by now. What you were saying
too, it's a kind of a miracle I don't have diabetes. But yeah, so I just like, I wasn't fancy Bev boy, but there also weren't fancy Bevs.
Yeah.
Like it kind of wasn't part of the culture. Like there wasn't really a seltzer culture. There wasn't a kombucha culture. And no pun intended. And like they're
it was intended.
It was intended.
I have to rewind real quick to you talking about drinking a Coke in the morning, because I think drinking soda in the morning is one of the most disgusting things that a human being can do. And it did remind me, I forgot about this when I still lived at my parents' house. When I dropped out of college, and I decided that I was just gonna like take temp jobs until I figured out what to do with my life. I got a job at a door factory in Aldergrove, and it was like we lived in Fort Langley, so it was like the 200th exit on the number one. There was a Chevron there, and you had to start at like,
I know that exact one.
I had to start at like 6 a.m. at the door factory in Aldergrove, and so I would like. And I didn't like coffee back then either. So for some reason, like there's a triple O's in the gas station. I don't know what I was thinking. I would just get a double chocolate cookie and a 750 ml Pepsi every morning when I drive out to this door factory. And then I'd be like so disoriented and like sugar crashing. And they made you wear like ear protection and eye protection. I don't even really know what my job was supposed to be, but there was some guy yelling at me about the doors and I couldn't understand what he was saying. It's just a piece of trauma that just came up thinking of morning soda. So
yeah, it's not. I will actually say, going back to my friend Garrett's joke, when I was a kid, one of our neighbors, that was like a big thing, was he didn't like coffee, so he would drink Coke in the morning. And he was like a regular adult, so I think that was the only time of day that he drank Coke. But he would drink it in the morning, and I remember being a kid and thinking like, I'm going to do that. And then I did. But it wasn't, I should say, like, it wasn't every day. It wasn't like my morning routine. I would get a bagel every day. There was the old UBC Student Union building used to have this place called Bernoulli's Bagels. And they made a bagel that I have never seen before or since. They made a focaccia bagel. Ooh. And it was fucking amazing. And so I used to carpool with a friend, Charlotte, and every morning we would go to Bernoulli's, get a focaccia bagel, and then we would walk. We weren't in the same class, but we had walked to class together. And then, it was only on mornings where I was really tired. Maybe I had been up late writing a paper, or I had a hockey game or whatever. That it wasn't every single day, but there were definitely like many mornings where it was like, God, I'm so tired, I'm just gonna have a Coke, and I would have a Coke.
So have you quit? Are you one of these people who's like post Coke? You don't do it at all?
Post Coke.
Wow.
And post Coke, I quit. Yeah, I always knew it was too much, and I got I have
a friend who was similar, like, you know, I'm going to say cokehead, specifically of that kind. And he, he's only a couple years older than me, and he has full dentures now. So it's probably...
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay, yeah. I mean, good thing I quit. But it was just like, fuck, dentures. That's rough to think about.
Yeah.
But I was like... I just knew it couldn't last forever. And then I kind of got blessed in a way where I got really sick with vertigo. I had this really bad bout of vertigo, and the doctors weren't really sure what it was. And I was kind of sick for like a year or more. Like I could function, but it was, I had really rough days sometimes. And the caffeine in the Coke just would like set off my vertigo. Like it just felt bad. Like it was to the point where, you know how when sometimes like if you get food poisoning or you get sick after you eat a certain kind of food, you never eat that food again because it just reminds you of that.
Right.
It was like that. It was like, but nothing bad ever happened with Coke, but it was literally like I would be sipping the Coke and I could feel my body being like, why are you doing this to me? We're not into this anymore.
So do you drink like Diet Coke, or are you just fully off? No more Coke.
Off.
And what
I'll
about...
drink it occasionally. Like, so I was off of caffeine, like completely, never had it for, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years maybe. And then I would have it like because I still love the taste of Coke. Like, so I would still, and I love cherry Coke especially. And so I would still have like, so then I started reintroducing it just very occasionally. And I'll say this, if you ever want to know what caffeine is doing to your body, stop drinking caffeine, because it's like, it is insane. Like I have I would say a grand total of like 10 to 15 caffeinated beverages a year. And if I have a caffeinated beverage, I am absolutely wired. I mean, I am just like, it is like my eyes physically get wider. It feels like I could punch a brick wall. Like, and to think I was drinking 3 Cokes a day. Like, I'm like, now I'll have one of the mini cans of Coke and I'm like, oh, I can do anything. Like, it's just
Coke.
It's unbelievable.
I don't know if you've had it in Quebec, but the cans are different. It's like a gold top on the can.
Yes.
And it's so good. But so are you like, I mean, I just love talking bevs, so I'm going to keep going for a little bit, even though.
Let's talk bevs, baby.
But are you like, are you fully off like sugar bev? Are you counting calories with your bevs?
No, I'm not counting calories.
So will you have like a non-caffeine?
I'll have a full, I'll have a full sugar bev.
You have like a ginger ale, or what are you sipping on with calories?
Love a ginger ale. Yeah. So when I first got off of Coke, ginger ale was the big, because I was, like I said, drinking 2 or 3 pops a day. So it's tough to like get rid of that out of your life because it just is like your routine. It's like I would have them with lunch, like whatever.
Right.
So I moved to ginger ale, and then eventually I was just kind of like, I don't really need this. So it's very occasional. Like, drink routine for me these days is water all day. I don't have anything other than water until dinner. And then as soon as I'm done dinner, I have a kombucha. And then
post-dinner kombucha.
Post-dinner kombucha.
And what brand usually? I know you've told me privately, but I'm curious if you...
Whatever's on sale is usually what I go for. I like... there's a local Vancouver brand called Culture Craft that is probably my favorite kombucha. I think it just has like the right amount of carbonation for me and very good flavors. He has a strawberry mojito that is excellent. There's also a cherry cream soda that's extremely good. But yeah, he's like a local bottler, but he does like all over BC. But yeah, the guy's name's Dan. I'm like this guy. Like I found this local, I had it at a restaurant once. And I'm like, this is really good. And it's not readily available in grocery stores. So I just emailed the guy. I'm like, would you sell me cases? He's like, absolutely. So I just like, so that's like how I run all my
true bevy boy behavior.
I'm a big dude. One time when I had never had Topo Chico before.
Oh my God. I only had it recently, like within the last year. And it's unbelievable. Believe the hype. If you've never tried it, like
Topo Chico Twist of Lime is unconscious. It's so good. But when I first had it, I was like obsessed with it. I was like, this is so good. So I found the guy in Vancouver who like distributes Topo to Mexican restaurants. Like that's the only place in Vancouver that carries it, is like Mexican restaurants will have Topo Chico. So I found the guy's company. He didn't have a website. He only had a Facebook page and it had an email. And I emailed him and I was like, would you sell me cases of Topo Chico? And he was like, yeah, sure, I guess. And so I literally would drive to his apartment and he would sell me Topo Chico out of his apartment.
I love that. He's a dealer.
So yeah. So I'm like that kind of guy, but no, I do kombucha after dinner. I love, Culture Craft. There's a couple other locals. Tality, Cove are very good. And then the commercial ones, I like Brew Doctor. I like GTD's certain flavors. I'm not sold on every GTD, but I like some of them. Tofino kombucha is really, really good. Not always easy to find, but they have a couple. They have a jasmine and hibiscus that is excellent. And they also have an apple honeybush, which is like Granny Smith apple, vanilla, and honey. It is unbelievable. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Are you looking at a monitor, or is this off the top of the dome? I'm trying to figure this out.
That's off the top.
Oh my God, you have all the I feel like I have much to learn from you. Okay, I have 2 other questions about bevies before we move on. Because you're sensitive to caffeine, does that mean you've not really gotten into like yerba mate sodas? Because that's a beautiful bev sphere that's going on.
I know
right
that you had brought that up, and I know people do love the yerba mate. I've never really tried it, but I do know it is like heavily caffeinated.
It'll fuck you up. But
I don't think I'm ready. I may not be ready. When you consider that a can of Coke is enough to make me want to like run through a wall, I feel like I might not be ready for mate. But.
What about like? So you've never drank alcohol? Have you ever had like non-alcoholic beer or like there's like some wonderful non-alcoholic mixer like gins and
Yeah, I
spritzes
don't-
and whatnot. Like the mocktail scene is kind of popping.
I like mocktails, but I'm not interested in the sort of like non-alcoholic gin. It's just like not a flavor I'm seeking.
Okay.
I'm not, like I know you go some places and they have the like lunette gin or whatever.
Well, I
There's a
buy
few
it at
different
home
brands.
too. I'm
Yeah.
into it at home. Yeah, it's good.
I do, to me, that and like non-alcoholic beer feels pretty specifically like products designed for people who are trying to quit drinking. Like it feels like you have to have drank before to enjoy. Like I've never acquired a taste for any of it.
I think you're half right. I don't think that it's specifically for quitting drinking, but I do think if you didn't drink when you were younger, you might not have developed an interest in like kind of more bitter or less.
Yeah, I hate
sweet
bitter
taste.
flavors.
Oh, interesting.
That's why I don't like coffee either. Like it's funny, growing up, I would always say to my parents that I thought that I had accentuated bitter taste buds. And because it goes two ways. First of all, anything that's even slightly bitter tastes crazy bitter to me. Like the best
Right.
example is like bell peppers. Like to me, bell peppers taste insanely bitter. And like yellow, like people will be like, oh, yellow peppers, those are sweet peppers. I'm like, that tastes like eating a shoe to me. Like it is just, they're so disgusting. I can't, they're so gross. And then like coffee is like it's disgusting to me. But it goes the other way too, where there's like nothing too sweet for me. Like if people are like, oh, if people are like, oh, this is so rich, I'm like, if people like, sometimes you'll get a piece of cake and you have like 2 bites and you're like, that's good enough. It's too rich. I'm eating the whole piece of cake easily.
Rich versus sweet is different. So like, I'm sure
Well,
Vancouver
okay.
has all these like, I'm sure Vancouver has them too. Like since the legalization of weed has especially popped up, the kind of like novelty snack stores where they sell like different Fruity Pebbles verticals and shit. People often, I think I just exude the kind of energy of someone who wants to eat that shit all the time. So people will give me stuff like that all the time as a gift. It's a very sweet gesture. And I find I can't eat most of it because it's too like processed sweet, like or like a novelty. Like there's this company in Edmonton that makes like soda, but in a very 90s way, and it just like it all tastes like poisonous syrup to me. But you're saying you could drink like a cream soda, a small barrel cream soda that's like 300 calories.
Easily, no problem. And like I've never taken a bite or a drink of anything and been like, that's too sweet. Never in my life.
Oh
Never.
My God.
Like I know there's degrees. Like I'll have a sip of something or whatever and be like, oh, that's very sweet, but it's never too sweet.
Okay, so you have a post-dinner kombucha. What else are you sipping on throughout the night?
And then I do a seltzer. So I'll do the post-dinner kombucha. And then I was telling you this before we got on the air, but my wife and I have very different bedtimes because I'm like a podcaster for a living, basically.
Yeah.
So, and my wife is like a regular human. So she goes to bed around 10 o'clock. So then like 10 until about 2 a.m. is my time. And then that's where I'll have like a seltzer.
Like
so
you'll have one seltzer?
One seltzer, yeah.
So you're very... I feel like you have this sort of encyclopedic knowledge of the bevies you like, but you're a very moderate bevy boy. Like
moderate, I don't drink a lot. I'm filling
our recycling bin. Like today's recycling day. Every week, it's full with. I'm like an alcoholic with seltzers now. So
right.
I think that's
right. Like how many would you have in a day?
Well, I have been cutting back recently. My wife's been really on a you need to drink more water kick. So it's been, but especially, and that's the other thing. When you pod, what are you sipping on when you pod? Just water?
Depends on the time of day. Yeah, okay. Water or a seltzer. Right now, it's just water.
I'll usually, on a day that we do 2 pods, so I'm like sitting here for like 4 hours. I'll clear probably 5 bevies off my desk.
Oh yeah, no, I would never. even like 2 in a row is a lot for me. Like even if I'm at a party.
Are you a slow sipper?
I don't even think so. I think it's just like I have one and I'm like, okay, that's good enough, maybe.
Wow. I think I'm trying to get drunk off of them subconsciously, probably.
I do think it's part of it though. Like I've never had that. Even when I was drinking 3 Cokes a day, like that's all I was drinking. Yeah. I wasn't a water boy back then. I barely drank water. It was like I drank Coke and juice, and that was it. And even then, it wasn't a lot. Like the Cokes are always spaced out. Like it'd be like one at lunch, one when I got home from work, and then maybe one at night, depending on what I was doing at night.
That sounds
so it was never
good.
like, it was never just like, I'm sitting and watching a movie, so I'll have 2 or 3 Cokes in a row. Like I just can't.
You don't get like
Brian
a refill?
Is very,
you wouldn't get a refill in a restaurant of Coke?
I would. That would be the only time. That would be the only time.
Okay.
It's like in a restaurant, I'll take a refill, but other than that, no. And like Brian is very much like that. Like when we record, because P.O.D. Kast, we do 2 episodes in a row always, and it takes a while. He'll knock down like 2 1-liter Gatorades in a recording session. Like he's just... I just don't drink like that. I don't know.
I feel like for me, it was like when I saw Homer Simpson drinking beer when I was a kid, I just thought that was like how you're supposed to drink beer and that it tasted better that way. So I would just like I'd crack open an Olympia and just like in one gulp, you know.
You hadn't figured out that's not why Homer was drinking so many. It was not the taste, my friend.
Yeah, exactly. But okay, so in addition to being a bevvy boy, and obviously we're gonna have to revisit this perhaps regularly. We'll have
no problem. We can have a bevvy boy. Yeah, we can have a bi-monthly bevvy chat or something. I love talking bevs.
But
bevs with the boys.
In addition to being a fellow bevvy boy, you are also like, and Sam's not much of a bevvy boy. I'm going to be honest. He's always drinking water.
Yeah,
he's you know,
Sam is a wuss. I mean, let's just call it what it is. He's too much of a wuss to drink.
He's the shortest. He's the oldest, and he's not a bevvy boy. So you know, get out of here. But one thing we do have in common with Sam as 385ers is you are also a wife guy, and I think
big wife guy.
That's being a wife guy. You know, we're talking about Brian. He loves to talk about different kinds of guys. Being a wife guy is one of the best guys, I think, at least from my experience. I love being a wife guy. How do you like it too?
Yeah, I'm a big wife guy. Love my wife, which is cool. Yeah, it's funny because we were just coming up on our 1-year anniversary, and so. I travel quite a bit for work I do some curling media work, as you alluded to earlier. So there are some curlers, I won't have seen them. Like I was just at a curling tournament last week, and there's some people I haven't seen since I got married, so people are like, oh, you got married. Congratulations. How's married life? People, and I'm like, great. I like my wife.
Yeah.
And people are always like, oh, what a weird way to answer that question. I'm like, well, it's true. Turns out if you like your wife, being married is pretty sick, actually.
It's true. I went on, oh, fuck. I should remember what it's called if I'm going to talk about it. The guy from Gilmore Guys has a new podcast about Christian music that I was on.
Yeah. Nice. I've done a Christian music pod before. We listened to Audio Adrenaline.
Did you grow up going to church?
A little bit. I would say I was like I've been church adjacent most of my life because my mom was raised Catholic and she wanted us to go to church, but my dad is not. I don't even know what my dad's religion is because he won't tell me, which is
good Christian fun. I'm so sorry. I forgot the name of the show.
Good Christian fun. Yes, there you go.
I mean, he never followed me back, and the other co-host followed me and unfollowed me right after. I don't think they're going to know that I forgot the name, so it's fine.
You're good. You're safe.
But what happened was I went on this show and I talked about the Innocence Mission, Lakes of Canada, who you might know Jonathan Anderson of Jonathan Inc.
I do know John very well. I've recorded with John.
He did an incredible cover of this song, Lakes of Canada, and I played it on this show, actually. And, it was this beautiful conversation about, sincerity and how beautiful this song is, and it was really deep. And that podcast is slightly big enough that they have a subreddit. And so I went on the Reddit, and someone said, that guy was talking about his wife too much. It was so gay, I think they said. Which I thought was, there's so many great layers. But having a wife, you got to talk about your wife. It's great.
I agree. Well, that's one of the best tweets of all time. The guy who was trying to say that ASAP Rocky was a cuck for because he was behind Rihanna on that magazine cover, and then the guy replied "Hey fellas, is it gay to make Rihanna pregnant twice?"
Yeah, it's so good. Maybe it is
so good.
Hell, if loving my wife makes me gay, then I'll take it. But
absolutely.
But the thing is, this song that we've been talking about this whole time, "Redundant" by Green Day,
yes, we're very dialed in on this song.
Is actually about how he loves his wife so much that it has become redundant to talk about it. Is what I've gleaned from it, which I think is a very beautiful sentiment.
Yeah. He's speechless and redundant. You know, he doesn't give a shit. What else can you say?
Yeah,
you know?
I love my wife, but
I love my wife, and it's boring, and it's good, but it's boring, but I love it.
Exactly.
I promise, it's so good.
I mean,
you know,
I feel like that we don't have to say anything more about the song unless you really feel
we're
you
done.
need to.
We did it.
Yeah,
we nailed it, man. That's it. Green May. Congratulations, we did it. I will say, it is a very positive thing you didn't have Stefan on your podcast for this, because the way he pronounces Green Day is truly fucked up.
Oh my God.
How does he says it. So most people say it like you and me regular. We say Green Day, and he says Green Day. It's very off-putting, and he can't stop doing it. He said it that way his whole life. And it's like not theoretically wrong, but it's just, he'll be like,
that seems Australian.
I love Green Day. I love Green Day.
Green Day. Does he like Green Day?
No,
he doesn't. I don't
think
think he doesn't know.
Stefan doesn't even really like music.
Yeah,
like I'm always,
I get that
whenever
vibe.
Stefan is like, oh, I love this song, I'm like, you do?
Yeah,
like it's a very weird.
He probably likes like what the people who make the music for Fortnite, or he probably has the same musical taste as my 11-year-old nephew.
No, he's the kind of guy who is like, I hate music, but I love Warren Zevon. He's like that. He's like more that kind of guy.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we could talk about Green Day more, but we've covered the main things, which is being bevvy boys and wife guys. I don't know. You want to plug anything before I let you go?
That's it. We're done.
Yeah, why not? That's good enough.
I listened to this song for nothing. No, I mean, I've heard this song like hundreds of times.
Well, I guess fine. Because we're the same.
Well, we got to give the people.
Because
like
we're 85.
If you're leaving early on my account, don't. I'm fine to sit to talk a little redundant. Here.
I have had the oven preheated for about 45 minutes, but it's okay. My house is.
What are you making?
I'm just reheating some leftover za.
Okay,
actually. But,
nice.
You know, but you're 80. You're a fellow 85er.
I am.
So Nimrod must have been your big one, right? You're too young for Dookie.
No, Dookie was my big one. I
Really?
mean, Nimrod was. They both were.
Okay.
Yeah, I was pretty lucky. Like I was very much, or not lucky, but I had friends that were really into music in elementary school, and we were all about the big three: Green Day, Weezer, Blink-182. Those were kind of the three, and so. Yeah, I remember when like Say It Ain't So hit like Much Music in the radio, like I loved that song. And then I don't even remember how I got into Blink, but like I had Dude Ranch, like that was one of the first albums I ever bought was Dude Ranch. And then and then same with Dookie. Like I think I just knew like Basket Case, and it's really funny how like everybody in my grade, at least, like Insomniac may as well have not existed.
I
like
know,
it was this very weird.
That's so true.
Like,
I feel like I've never even heard the whole thing. And
me neither. Like I know all the singles, but I've never really like sat down and listened to the whole album cover to cover. I don't think. Maybe I did once to be like, "What's this about?"
I played Brain Stew to my school in grade 7 at an assembly. But that
classic.
I knew it from the Godzilla OST, not from.
Oh, nice! Did one of your friends go? Ah?
I wish. I wish.
It's like Josiah Hughes on guitar, so and so on bass, Jimmy Gallagher on Godzilla.
Exactly, everyone loved Jimmy Gallagher's.
Everybody
Godzilla
loved
impression.
Jimmy Gallagher's Godzilla impression.
He's dead now, sadly,
but he was killed by Mothra. But he had a great run. That soundtrack fucking whips, and I'm so mad it's not on any streaming services.
It's really good.
It's really good. Like the Wallflowers cover of Heroes is very good.
So sick.
The
Shelter
is great. No Shelter is so good.
It's so good.
It's a great soundtrack. But yeah, so it was funny. Like Dookie, I think was just in the consciousness, and I don't know why. I think like Green Day was just a very telegenic band. They were on Much Music a lot. You know, they did the like Intermittent Interactive with them, and there was all the there was just, they were on there a lot. Maybe Woodstock was a factor in that too. I'm not sure, but I was always aware of Green Day, but only Dookie. And I had Dookie first. Like before Nimrod came out, I had Dookie for sure. And so then when Nimrod came out, like when Hitchin' a Ride first hit, it was like,
that was huge.
Baby. This is a big moment.
I don't like that song at all anymore. I think it's
really?
Yeah, I hate it, but I think Nice Guys Finish Last is like one of the best Green Day songs.
So good. Such a good song. Great video too. Really fun video.
So
the football.
It's so
yeah,
good.
I mean, Nimrod is actually an album I listened to not that long ago because I was like, I feel like I remember liking a lot of songs on Nimrod. And then I listened to it, and I don't like a lot of songs on Nimrod. But,
I feel like it has peaks and valleys like more than some of the others. Like some of the good songs are, in fact, even this song Redundant, I totally forgot about it, but it's kind of just like a perfect pop song.
It's a very good song. I think Redundant is a really good song. And I think like the main point I was going to say on the show that when I was thinking about this song is like, I remember thinking that like I was a more studious Green Day fan for liking Redundant. Like my friends didn't like it, you know, because it was like, oh, that's a pardon my, it's a gay song, you know.
Right.
We were not.
It's for wife guys. It's for gay wife
we were not,
guys.
Yeah, we were not developed in 1997, you know. So it was just like, oh, that's a real wuss. That's a dumb song. I hate that song, you know. And I'd be like, that's a pretty good song. Like, I lost my, like I love the chorus. The drumming is great. I just thought it was and like you said, a perfect pop song. And it sort of like foreshadowed where Green Day was going in a way that like none of the other singles on Nimrod really did. And yeah, I mean, I think it's an awesome song. I really, really like it. I think it's one of their best for me. Like if I was making a list, it would be in my top 10 for sure. My top 10 Green Day songs, maybe even top 5. I don't know.
See, I'm incapable. We've talked about this privately as well.
I'm
incapable of making lists. Because I think if something's terrible, that's also makes it really special in a way. That might make it higher up on the list, you know?
Right. You're like King for a Day is Green Day's best song.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to go, for those who've listened this far, I'm going to say, I do think, hopefully this will be the last good Green Day song we do this month. Because I think we've been doing too many good ones, and then it's just me and Sam talking about how good they are all the time. You know, we gotta get into some of the shit as well.
There's a lot of bad Green Day songs.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot. I mean, obviously late era Green Day is putrid, and there's so many bad late era Green Day songs. But like even in this era, like when you listen, Dookie is the only Green Day album that's like close to unassailable, and it's still not. There's still some songs on Dookie that are like, I don't think there's any, I should say this, I don't think there's any bad songs on Dookie, but there's a few songs where you're like, they could have cut that song, I would say. And then every other Green Day album has, I mean, yeah, Insomniac and Nimrod, tons of misses. Obviously, Minority is mostly misses.
Did you listen to like Slappy Happy on all the all the old shit or no? You're not.
No, there was one kid in my grade who was really like, I don't even know how he would know. We were like 11. But he was like, "Oh man, Green Day sold out, dude!" Like,
that kid is awesome. Like, that kid probably went on to, be in the Vancouver hardcore scene. I'm sure that's sick. But
he plays bass in DOA.
Well, I would like to know because we know you as a curling and nu metal guy. I'm gonna go ahead and guess it's probably not true. Probably not. The answer is probably no. But I'd like to know: did you have a punk phase, John Cullen?
No, not really. Like, I had a punk phase, like only a pop punk phase. I never was into the like sort of hardcore.
You never went to Sealand Hall or something, or the Java Joint.
Yeah, no. I never was like. I was never a big like old school punk guy. The sort of like your NoFX, your Bad Religion, your Pennywise, those kinds of bands. Never into them. I was never into the like Black Flag, Minor Threat era. I wouldn't say I was ever had a big punk phase, but I did like the pop. Like I loved Offspring, Sum 41, Blink 182, Green Day.
Yeah, poser shit.
I was all into that, but punk, no. And I don't know what it was, but it never clicked for me. Still doesn't. I still am not a huge, like, pop might be the only like punk band I like that I can think of.
Yeah.
But
you did play in bands, right? Like you've played a show with my brother before.
I played multiple shows with your brother.
Well, there you go.
It's funny to think about that I never made that connection that was your brother, and that was we have a lot of connections, you and I, but that was a very funny.
Yeah,
that was a very funny. Like I had already done probably like 5 podcast episodes with you, and then being like, wait a minute, Johnny is your brother?
Yeah,
what the hell? Like it just just blew my mind.
What was your band called again?
Shukov.
And who else? I feel like someone else I know was in it too.
Lee Denholm was the lead singer.
Okay,
who I'm sure you would know. Like
I realize you're going to start listing people who think that I know them, and I don't know. I'm an asshole to them, but no.
Lee, were you ever like an in medias res guy?
Yeah, I knew them through church and through shows for sure. Yeah.
So then you would know Lee for sure. Lee was kind of like their de facto guitar tech kind of guy, and he was like we used to play with them a lot. Like it's possible you saw Shukov. Like we played with your brother, and we played with IMR like a lot.
Okay. Yeah, see, you're basically a Christian artist without realizing it, I think.
Oh, 100%. Like Lee came from a very Christian background, not a super Christian guy, but yeah. And then we had our bass player, you may have known too, was Matt McDaniel from Hajira.
That sounds familiar. Sounds very familiar.
Yeah, he was so we had another bass player, and then she left the band. So Hajira had broken up around the same time, and then Matt joined the band. You may know Matt, or you may know his younger brother Josh, who was in Living with Lions for like quite a while. Josh
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I was probably too much of an asshole to really meet any of these people. I feel like that we talked about why I drank. Well, why I smoked cigarettes for so many years was so that I didn't meet anyone. But I am curious. Is producer Dan also from this realm?
Yeah. Yeah, Dan got his start
because he loves Woolworm. I see him talking about Woolworm and Bane and stuff. He's tweeted about Bane before.
Yeah, Dan is way younger. Dan's 30, but he got his start in the sort of like audio video world, filming local bands. Oh, so that was his whole. So he owned or does still. You can still look it up. Like he has a YouTube channel called El Cheapo, where he would go. He filmed rap battles and Vancouver concerts.
That's awesome.
So bands would like hire him, and then he would do like a high quality like filming of their show or whatever, and then put it up on YouTube. And that was how he kind of like got his start in that kind of realm.
So did he film your band?
No, that we were done. Like Shukov ended in.
You played like the Railway Club and stuff, right? Or?
Oh yeah, we were big in that scene.
Okay.
The Railway. We would play a Backstage Lounge, the Marine Club when that was still around. Right. I think we actually played with your brother at the Marine Club.
Yeah, I think so.
There was a few. The Victoria we used to play at, which was on Kingsway in Victoria.
Interesting. Okay.
But yeah, we were in that era, but we were done by. When did Shukov end? 2006, probably.
Okay.
2007. We were done. We started in 2004. So yeah, we were probably done by 2007.
All right.
So Dan would have been like, in 2007.
In diapers.
Dan's like, he's like 10.
And now he's in diapers again, probably. Okay, John, this has been so fun. If there's anything else you'd like to say about Green Day or being a wife guy or sipping bevs, or if you just want to promote shit, what do you want to do?
I love it. I love it all. Thank you for having me on the show to talk about Green Day for 2.5 minutes. It was lovely. You weren't kidding. Like you sent me a message and you're like, well, honestly, probably just talk a lot about beverages. And I didn't realize like when you said a lot, you meant the whole show.
I still have more to say too, but I just really have to go. So
yeah,
we'll have to pick up where we left off.
Yeah, anytime. I'm here anytime. If you my main podcast is Blocked Party. We have a guest on each week to talk about a time they got blocked on social media. Me and Stefan Heck. Josiah has been a guest multiple times. So if you want to start somewhere, that's a good place to start. We've also had Tony Hawk on the show, Nikki Glazer, Ike Barinholtz. It's a fun show, so you can check that out. And then
just some of my peers.
Some of your peers. You're right. You're on a list. You're on a list with Tony Hawk. You and him are both on the same list, which is great. Then I also have the P.O.D. cast. So I assume if you're listening to this, you're a music fan. It's myself and Brian Quinby, formerly of Street Fight Radio, now of the podcast Guys. And we dissect a classic nu metal album every month. And we've done 45. We just recorded episode 45 today. So lots of fun stuff in that back catalog. You've got your Korn, your Deftones, your Limp Bizkit, your Puddle of Mud. You know, we go all the way in.
I think I need to come back on there to talk.
We would love to have you back on.
Because I was talking to Brian about this, and we can't get into it now. But David Draymond is going through a divorce, and there's
we spent 25 minutes of the P.O.D. cast today talking about how he got divorced. So
it's crazy.
It's unbelievable. It's
Brian thinks that's why he did the duck lips tweet.
Definitely, because he's on Tinder, so he's seeing all these pictures of girls now, and he's going. And he's obviously set his search filter to like 25. So he's like,
it's all girls who are using pictures that are 15 years old, probably.
Yeah, that's it's not good, you know. So yeah, David Draymond got divorced. It's big news. So you can follow that show at the POD_cast with a K, like the band Korn. Blocked Parties at Blocked Party Pod. You can follow me at Cullen the Comic. Thank you for having me.
There we go. All right, and look for our new beverage magazine coming soon.
Bevvy Boys.